for you guys to LARP and role play as celebrities and give yourself your own red carpet event, and your own gala, and all of this stuff. Like, the boxing wasn't even thought about. Like, if you remove the boxing from it, you would think they were preparing to go to, like, the Oscars or some shit. Yeah, because that's how they treated it. Would I box iDubbbz? Yeah, sure. I'm not that, like, I've never boxed before, and he's got more experience than me. He would win. I don't know.
Guys, but most of these people aren't relevant at all. I mean, my videos perform better than some of these influencers. And my 20-
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one. Yeah, so look at that here. Let's full screen this. 2.95. So just under 3,000 subs, and her videos are getting, 500 views, 700 views. Yeah, like, that was the one I looked at, and I was like, who the fuck is this person?
Awful. These are apparently supposed to be serious, hardened political creators, but they're doing shit that 15-year-olds would post on TikTok. They were getting all these photos taken like it was the coolest thing in the world. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes! Oh, I can't wait to hear his take on this one. Everyone just tries to, like, point out how it looks like a swastika. Oh, I get it. It's an inverted swastika. Also, that's a 3D object. Real quick. That's a 3D object. That means that both people standing on two sides of it don't see an inverted swastika. One of you sees the swastika. There's no way you didn't know it looked like a swastika. Because if the camera is seeing, when he's holding it and waving it at the camera, if the camera is seeing an inverted swastika, iDubbbz sees the swastika. Idiot influencers, iDubbbz. This is a 2-week-old video. I'm a little late to it, so it's probably not going to have anything about the current stuff here, about the creator class shit. But it should lead everything up to the content cop. And to kind of show the transformation of iDubbbz. It's by Rob's Media. He makes good videos. It is a long one, so this will probably be the majority of the stream, guys. Alright, so here we go. Let me get into the game here real quick. Is that big enough? I feel like we can make that a little bigger. Let me make it a little bigger. How about there? How about there? Let's try right there. Alright, warning. This video came... Alright, here you go. Here's your trigger warning, guys, if any of you guys are into trigger warnings. Oh, real quick before I get started on this. Just the arguments I've gotten into with people on Twitter. Like, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys how to debunk some basic arguments that these people will lean on and go to. Because I have found the trump card that gets them every time. So when they bring up the swastika sword, don't try to convince them that it looks a certain way. You can never convince them of anything. The only thing that you can do to win arguments with these people, or expose them, or get people on your side, or get people to not listen to them when their little, sycophants show up, is to hold them to task for the things that they're claiming to stand by. So when they come into your comments on Twitter, or you see a Twitter thread, or you find people defending Hassan and Ethan, you find these glazers. When they go to defend the swastika sword, it's not about the sword. You have to remove the sword from the equation. So that they can't lean on the bleach argument, because that's what they're going to go to. They're going to go on the bleach argument. So you focus on just the hilt and the symbol, which then they're going to tell you, oh no, it's a manji, it's a Buddha symbol, and blah, blah, blah. Don't argue with them on that. They're technically right. You'll find that a lot of their arguments rely on semantics and technicalities. Technically they're right, but the thing they're right about doesn't matter. So what does matter is how people perceive that symbol. So you say, this is usually how I respond. You guys start doing it, because I want to see more pressure put on them for this. And hopefully one of them will be dumb enough to make this video. So I challenge them every time they say that. I'm like, cool. Put that symbol on a t-shirt. This big. Just on a t-shirt by itself. And wear it out in public. Don't put any words on it. I want nothing else on the t-shirt but the symbol. Just the symbol by itself. No bleach references, no Buddhist references, no nothing. Just that symbol. If that symbol is so recognizable as a Buddhist symbol and we're crazy for calling it a swastika, then there should be no problem wearing it in public, right? So put that on a t-shirt. Grab yourself a camera and live stream yourself walking around Walmart, Target. Wear it out into public. Loud and proud. Stand on business, okay? Stand by the thing that that you're claiming is so obvious. You know, put your money where your mouth is. Prove it. Wear it out into public. Live stream it so we can see people's reactions. I don't want some edited thing. I want to live stream it. And let's see how many based Bleach fans will come up to you and be like, Bleach, awesome. Or how many establishments you get kicked out of, or how many times you possibly get your ass kicked. None of them are ever going to do that. And the fact that they will try to find a way to weasel out of that and tell you, or some of them will flat out tell you that they're not doing it. The fact that they won't wear that symbol by itself in public means that they know what it looks like and what it's associated with. They know people will be confused by it, and they know what people will label them as, which means they know it's a dog whistle. That's a soft admission. So that's the trump card to win that one. Because I had a guy try to do that today on Twitter, and if he's still looking at that thread or notices I'm live, how you doing, buddy? So he tries to, and then they try to be sneaky and weaselly. So I use that argument there, and of course he won't do it. He tries to go, you know, America's not the only country, right? There are plenty of countries where you wear that symbol out in public and people understand what it is. I'm like, cool. These creators are American. Their audience is mostly American. This beef is between an American creator to another American. The content cop was made by an American attacking an American to an American audience. So wear it out in America, because that's obviously the point. That's obviously what's being referenced here. That's obviously who they're targeting with their dog whistle. So prove it's not a dog whistle. And then he goes off on a rant about, he starts taking screenshots. So he does this thing where he takes a screenshot of my YouTube channel, because then he goes to my YouTube channel, he finds my YouTube channel, and he goes to my YouTube channel to tell me that I don't get many views, blah, 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 yeah, whatever. I'm a guy who does this as a hobby for fun, and I just started doing YouTube maybe a couple months ago. I'm not sure how many months I've been doing it. Not long. Yes, I've been on YouTube for 16 years, and I have over 1,000 videos, but 99% of those videos over the course of that 16 years are 30-second clips that were auto-uploaded by the Xbox share button, because I pressed the share button on the controller. I was using YouTube as just a way to share clips from video games with friends. Like 90% of my content is just like video clips from video games with no thumbnails, no work into it put whatsoever. So it doesn't take a genius to take one look at my channel and be like, oh, he wasn't actually actively trying to do YouTube until recently. And my numbers will reflect that. They're not great, but everybody's got to start somewhere. But he uses the fact that I've been on YouTube for a long time to show that. But then he lies, because he takes the picture of my YouTube and he puts two pictures in that Twitter post. He takes a picture of my YouTube talking about how no one watches me. And then it's just a picture of my YouTube page with the description. And then the picture of my content he's got in the next one was of my Twitch page, where no one watches me on Twitch. That is true. So it shows the videos and shows how many views I got for those live streams, and they're like 2 or 3. And I'm like, oh, sneaky how you tried to use my fucking Twitch. You tried to represent my Twitch page as my YouTube page. Yeah, people watch me on YouTube, not Twitch. I mean, I live stream on every platform for convenience, but YouTube's my focus. And then he went and looked at my YouTube, and he's like, oh, my mistake, I looked at your wrong channel. And then you look at my live streams, and I've got, 200 viewers. Still not a whole lot, but it's a hell of a lot more than 1 or 2. So obviously those live streams do a lot better on YouTube. So then he has to backpedal, and then he starts talking, well, you don't have many subscribers. Well, first, none of this has anything to do with the swastika. He's trying to change the subject. Yeah, they resort to personal attacks because they know you're right. And everyone can see you're right. So I just kind of noped out the conversation. I was like, cool, thanks for promoting my channel to everybody watching. And then I posted my analytics. I was like, by the way, I'm up month over month since I've started doing YouTube. So you can say I've been doing it for 16 years, but since I started taking it seriously, I've seen nothing but growth. So, then unlike iDubbz, I'm not scared to show my analytics. So that's in a comment thread on X. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I'm sure he's not watching, but would be awesome to see him show up in my chat. So he can feel stupid in front of everybody. Yep, you're on the bottom floor. Stick around, guys. There's nowhere to go from here but up, because I literally can't go any further down. But anyway, Idiot influencer iDubbz. Here's your content warning. This video contains material not suitable for all ages. Viewer discretion is advised. He's got a copyright disclaimer. Under restriction, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm not sure why you have a copyright disclaimer. You're on YouTube.
And they wanted to know about the event, and they would have bought tickets. We're going to try really hard this year to remedy that. We need to advertise it. Maybe that means bugging the fighters more. I hate doing that, but maybe we have to. And just me making content around this shit. And I want more people to come to this event.
And he didn't do any of that, by the way. He didn't promote it at all. He didn't make any content about it. He just made a content cop about Ethan, and that's all he's talked about.
Welcome back to Idiot Influencers. Today, we'll be jumping back into the story of Ian, aka iDubbz. I've done videos documenting both him and his lovely wife, Anissa, in the past, but so much has happened recently to warrant another video. Not only have they been attempting to revive Creator Clash, but they've attempted to go after Ethan Klein, further splitting apart what's after their audience. But before we go through all of that, I need to give some important context.
Okay, that's what I hoped this would be, and that's what it is him gonna give you the how we got here kind of thing, and get us caught up as of 2 weeks ago. He's not gonna, obviously he's not gonna, oh, that's not even on the map. He's not gonna get us caught up to current day, so that's why I was trying to do that intro segment.
While Ian used to be a revered figure in the early commentary community, many cite the OnlyFans drama as the beginning of the end for him, though what really started that, in my opinion, was the Sam Hyde drama, where Ian went to...
Yeah, I don't think the OnlyFans thing was as big a deal. I'm not one of those. Yeah, like I guess it's fun to make jokes about, but I don't care if a girl does OnlyFans. If she's just selling her, like, as long as she's not doing the crazy OnlyFans stuff. Like, if you want to sell your nudes for profit, go for it. Who the fuck cares? It's better that you make, in my opinion, especially if you're an online creator, it's better to make money off your nudes and have people find them that way than them find it by a hack or a leak, because it's going to happen eventually if you get big enough. So just fuck it. Just go ahead and make money off of them. Just turn them into content. Like, I got no problem with that. Now, if you're the kind of OnlyFans girl who's doing that, I slept with 500 dudes in a day, and, you know, you're just trying to be the biggest whore for clout. All right, well, that might cause problems with your relationship, but if you're just selling nudes, who the fuck cares? No, I think I think Sam Hyde broke this man. iDubbz seems like the kind of guy who is able to dish it but not take it, and he never really got any pushback. I mean, back in his heyday, yeah, he got some responses from some people, but most people were just on his side throughout the entirety of the thing. He never had a guy actually flip the script on him. And when he showed up to do that documentary with Sam Hyde, and Sam Hyde literally, like, bought out an office space, paid a bunch of actors to just create an entire mockumentary about himself and to just completely prank Ian, God, their names are so similar, and to just prank Ian, I thought it was hilarious. iDubbz did not take kindly to it, and he has been pissed at him ever since. And then it showed how pissed he was at him during the Creator Clash 2 thing, because he was so petty over Sam Hyde even just training someone. Yeah, like, it's clear that Sam Hyde got under his skin and just completely fucking broke this man. I think it's weird the life of the biggest YouTuber in the 2010s is doing OnlyFans. Does she need the money? I don't think she needs the money. I think it's a vanity thing for her. I think she needs to feel, because every time she goes and insults someone on Twitter, like she did it recently, where she just puts out a random tweet of herself, and she was like, I know you're attracted to me, but you'll never admit it. It's okay. You can be attracted. Like, I think it's just vanity for her. I think she gets off on it. And I think she gets off on, like, that level of control over her husband. I mean, she's completely cucked him. He took her last name. It's just another piece of control that she can have over him to show that she's in charge and to show that she wears the pants. Plus, she's got that whole feminist attitude of, like, have you ever heard those arguments? I don't think I've heard it in a while. I'm going to show my age here now. Back in the day, feminists used to argue before the internet that being a stripper was actually a feminist act because they're taking back the power over their body or some bullshit or blah, blah. Yeah, she's like that level of feminist. So I think it's more about that. I think it's more about ego and that for her.
To Rhode Island to film a documentary on the controversial comedian. Ian came across as vindictive against Sam the entire time, with some theorizing that he wanted to make a hit piece. Sam thought this himself, and to make the documentary more interesting, he crafted various comedy bits to gaslight Ian. These worked too well, with Ian never being able to tell what was real and what wasn't, biggest of which was Sam's fake drug-addicted girlfriend, Danny.
Have you tried to get her any help?
No.
Yeah, it was so good. He completely fooled him, and iDubbz being made a fool of on his own little documentary, basically having someone beat him at his own game. He just couldn't take it. He could not fucking stand it, and it broke him, because he's used to being the guy like. And I think Sam's right. I think he would have tried to make it a sneaky little hit piece on Sam. He's going to label it as a documentary. But after you saw the one on Airsoft Fatty, and Airsoft Fatty made a video on him that we covered on this stream too, that it was very clear that he's not there to do an honest documentary on you. He's there to exploit you for views and to basically make you the subject of ridicule. This is his new way of doing content cop, because he can't say all the gamer words and he can't be outright mean anymore. So this is him trying to do the concern trolling thing, which is what his wife does. It's all the get help. Yeah, like it's that. Oh, I'm just trying to help, when really you're there to make them look as stupid as possible. Sam was smarter than Airsoft Fatty and saw through it and used it as an excuse to take iDubbz for a ride. It was epic. It was legendary. I'm not a fan of Sam Hyde. The guy is a neo-Nazi. But, well played, Sam. Well played.
Being as she's a girl I paid $500 to shave her head and pretend to be my girlfriend, no, I haven't tried to get her any help.
Yeah, and that's when he
You
exposed
want me
it.
to try?
Well, okay.
I don't know her that well. It's probably not my business to get her off drugs. Also, I think I told her to put her hand in your pocket and pretend to be on drugs.
Shut up.
You think are you serious? You think I would date a girl that has her hair shaved like that? You
Yes.
think I'm a fucking mental case?
Yes.
Ian held a grudge following the
Yeah, the fact that he believed that and he calls Sam a mental case to his face, yeah, it was... He's kind of saying the quiet part out loud, like showing his intentions. Like, I thought Sam was crazy, so I was come here to document the crazy. And it turns out Sam's not crazy. He's racist, but not crazy.
the documentary's release, and ended up banning Sam from his first ever charity boxing event, Critter Clash. His reasoning was Sam being a business risk.
He's not a super cooperative guy. He's very unpredictable. So involving him in our event just isn't a good idea. I think most people would.
Business risk.
I think most people would understand that.
Yeah, it's a huge business risk.
Now this drama would spill out into 2020.
Yeah, but if that was the case, then why didn't you allow him to train another fighter completely unassociated from the event at all? Why didn't you allow that? Why did you kick off another fighter just because they wanted to train with him unofficially? Like, he's not associated with your event, so how is he a risk now? Yeah, like, it's they're so dishonest, dude. Just say it. Just say what you mean. Say it with your chest, like you used to do back in your content cop days.
As Ian would kick off one of the fighters for Critter Clash 2, Froggy Fresh.
Yeah, kicked him
The
off.
reason cited was Froggy training with Sam Hyde,
The main reason Froggy was kicked from the card was for collaborating with Sam Hyde.
though many also believed he was kicked due to a joke Froggy made about Nisa's OnlyFans.
It's probably a mix of both, which I'll admit this was a funny joke. I laughed. It shows that iDubbz has completely lost his sense of humor. He's too fucking sensitive now.
15. If I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans.
This whole situation is when many like myself turned on Ian, as he banned someone over guilt by association after they had spent months training. It came across as Ian caring more about his reputation and ego than all else. Around the same time, Ian was also getting criticism for his drawn-out apology tour, which many found to be performative. He would go from podcast to podcast, basically disavowing his old content and style of humor, finding it to be deeply troubling. This led to his now infamous apology video, where he specifically cites the content cops as the most egregious content he's ever made.
The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons and, obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human, I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not. It's super irresponsible and shitty.
Many recently, especially H3 fans, say that this video is aged poorly, but I'm here to tell you that it's never been good to begin with. This video is hypocritical from the start, as it was clear he still wanted to do content cop videos on specific targets he deems reprehensible. I mean, only 2 weeks prior, Ian released what was essentially a content cop on Froggy Fresh. And I'm not pulling that out of my ass. Ian teased the video as such.
Do you want to hint at maybe what else you're going to do on your main channel? You don't have to say who it's about.
Yes, on my main channel, I'm going to be addressing controversies, and I'm going to be putting...
Not the only one who gets bothered when someone pronounces it controversy instead of controversy. Is it just me? Like, is that the British way to say it? I don't understand why people say it like that. It doesn't even read like that. Is it just me? Am I being... I know I've got some weird pet peeves, but that's one of those ones that just bothers me. Like when someone pronounces Mario. Yeah. iDubbz after Anissa tries to peg him. Controversy. Yeah, that's what he looks like. Jesus fuck, man. Yeah, it was clear even back then. He's right. Like, the writing was on the wall that he is not above doing those content cops. He doesn't believe any of the shit that's coming out of his mouth. He wants to still be able to do the edgy thing, but he doesn't want to get but he doesn't want to be the bad guy anymore. Like, he wants to be seen as the hero, as a good guy. So he has to have the moral high ground now. Yeah. It's so fucking transparent. This is just the iDubbz version of the get help thing. Which anyone who lives in the South knows what the get help concern trolling is, because you've heard it before. Fucking old lady, I pray for you anytime you fucked up, which is basically the Southern old lady way of saying kill yourself. Because when she says I'll pray for you, what she means is, well, I'm gonna pray that you die in a car accident.
Out. I'm gonna be putting out a content cop.
Yes!
Oh,
let's fucking go, baby!
A content cop about controversy, related to controversies?
That might be, nah.
No,
that might be.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Wow.
It's a content cop.
This is a very vague tease.
And this video Ian did on Froggy is fucking terrible, and displays 10 times more cruelty and hatred than his old content cops. He spends the video painting Froggy as sexist because he made a few OnlyFans related jokes, paints him as a manipulator through text messages he briefly flashes on screen, and shows out of context clips to make it seem like Froggy was shit-talking Career Clash 2 before he was kicked, when these clips came out afterwards. Now, I'd also refer to the Cartnarks video as sort of a content cop, but it's too pathetic to be considered such. It's just 15 minutes of Ian complaining about white guy insults.
There's a lot of people who say, like, yeah, this ain't so bad. The Cartnark, he's hitting people with the white people insults. What's so wrong with that? It's like, dude, if someone called you lazy bones, would you not feel fucking awful? Especially...
How's that a white person insult, though? Like, you can be lazy and not be white. The fuck?
If you're being lazy, that shit is like a level 9 white people insult. Those hurt.
Now, these controversies aren't the only reason Ian has fallen from grace.
Okay.
It's also the content he's been putting out. It's some of the most boring and lifeless shit I've ever seen. Barely anyone is watching these videos, and it's not due to the topics Ian discusses. I mean, this guy has gotten millions of views catching squirrels in his backyards and making popper toys. His main issue is that he's boring as sin now, and lacks the
Yeah, here. I got a soundboard now that I'm playing around with. Here, I will give you the description of iDubbz, Denims, that entire group of content creators. Which, I mean, if it weren't for politics, no one would watch them. Like, as soon as you remove the Israel-Palestine conflict and Hassan from that group, they all fall apart. Why? Because
you're boring. You're fucking dull. You have nothing to say. You are a one-hived mind twat waffle.
Yeah, that's that entire group in a nutshell.
confidence he used to have. Modern iDubbbz videos lack energy, and make it seem like Ian is completely lobotomized. And this has reflected on his viewership, with videos struggling to reach 300,000 views. That might seem fine to some
You mean people weren't excited to watch him review Cheez-Its? No, say it ain't so.
of you, but this guy has 7 million subscribers and used to reach 5 million views on average in his heyday. This guy was big enough to be collaborating with PewDiePie and Post Malone at one point. Nowadays, Ian comes across as a buzzkill.
I like pineapple on my pizza.
Like just the juice?
Put that back in. Go salt. I'm a pineapple guy.
Remember when iDubbbz content was good?
This is my side. This is my side, okay?
Yeah, but it's kind of like this pineapple juice is on everyone's side now, though.
The comments to this Cold Ones episode are brutal, with fans writing, "This is how a dog that's been ruthlessly abused his whole life acts when he first enters a new loving home." Ian was going crazy in this one. He drank half a glass of wine in under an hour. Ian looks like he just had a fight with Anissa in the car before getting dropped off for daycare. You guys are lucky
Jesus!
to be between his wife's tattoo appointments. For those wondering, this is referencing Max Mofo's wedding. Joji could come, but not Ian. These comments really got to Ian, leading him to respond to them on his podcast.
He's sensitive.
That video I recorded with Max and Chad, that is much closer to how I behave in real life.
Shit, no,
and I feel really bad that I didn't. I mean, it's a good experiment. I'm glad I did it, but I really wish that I had known that that energy is, I think, kind of needed for something like a Cold Ones video.
Yeah.
If he wanted to be the straight man in a Cold Ones video, that's fine. He just has no chemistry with Max and Chad anymore. He barely has chemistry with anyone, as seen through the podcast he has of his wife, She Ruined My Career. I've attempted to watch full episodes of this, but it's super rough, man. It's just them
Yeah, he plays it like it's a joke because the podcast is named She Ruined My Career, but I think it's just a soft admission of guilt. I feel like he's constantly crying out for help, like a girl in a video where she's being held hostage and she's trying to say it with her face because she still has to read the note, and she's hoping that the cops can, maybe if I blink in Morse code I can tell them where I'm at. Like please send help.
And spouting out therapy speak. I don't know how anyone could watch these two and find them likable in the slightest. These two are only entertaining when they have crash outs on live stream.
Ian keeps me on a leash, okay? And I'm okay with that because
No,
I
he doesn't.
need to be on a leash. I need to be on a leash, a tight leash, to be honest, because I am unhinged. I will just say shit.
True. But I don't believe he keeps you on a leash.
If you somehow don't know, Creator Clash 2 is a massive failure, as it not only failed to make money for charity, but it actually lost money.
Unfortunately, we didn't even reach the break-even point, right? We're $250,000 in the red. I foolishly thought that the success of last year should be a minimum, a minimum for what we are able to do this year. And that wasn't true.
In Ian's video about the situation...
Yeah, but why wasn't it true, Ian? Why wasn't it true? Was it because you suck at managing an event? Your ego went to your head? That you rented out a fucking venue twice the size of the one for Creator Clash 1? And you didn't have fighters nearly as popular? And then you spent all your money on galas and trying to give them bonuses and trying to line your pocket? Is that why? Because you overspent and under-delivered? You gonna take any responsibility? No.
He mainly mentions pirating as the reason why the event lost money, not mentioning some of the other expenses besides the Creator Hotel. A big reason why Creator Clash...
Yeah, and to be clear, it's already expensive to rent out a hotel on a normal weekend. To rent out the entire hotel for your creators, that's already expensive. But people seem to forget that Creator Clash 2, the weekend that event took place, was the same weekend Taylor Swift was in town for that concert. So you wanted to deny Swifties a place to stay in a hotel by renting out the whole hotel for your people? Yeah, they charged him out the ass for that. Do you know how much money that hotel could have charged the Swifties and made? So you best believe they charge at least that much to Ian, if not more. Like, just demonstrably stupid decisions made. Like, my mind's still blown. And then he repeats it with the Creator Clash 3, and he doesn't just repeat those mistakes. He sprinkles on a little Israel-Palestine content cop on top. Just...
Clash 2 probably lost a lot of money was the multiple influencer events he held, like the Red Carpet Gala. We're not sure how much these cost, but it must have been a lot if they spent $20,000 on a comedian.
Good, get the fuck out of here. Let me earn my $20,000.
Ian has barely addressed these parties, though when he does, he tries to justify them as ways to process trauma.
We also had events the day before the fight and the day after the fight, so that, you know, fighters and friends and family could come together and process their trauma. That was sort of paramount for me because the first year we did the fight and then I went to bed. I got the shit kicked out of me by Dr. Mike, and then I went to bed, and then I woke up, the hotel was empty, and then I got on a flight and traveled 5 hours with my face completely swollen back to Seattle, and I was like, that was cool, that was so worth it. There was nothing, there was no processing my trauma, there was no talking to anyone and relating about the experience afterward. Everyone was gone, and that shit felt awful. So
why would you... Him trying to frame a boxing match like a traumatic event. This is a case of you knowing what you fucking signed up for. Like, how did you not know the experience of getting punched in the face would hurt? Like, how did you not know the experience of boxing would be unenjoyable? It's boxing, you fuckwit. Of course. It's only traumatic. Like, it's traumatic when you don't plan to get into a boxing match and some guy starts a fight with you at a bar. You spent months preparing for this. It shouldn't have been traumatic. It should have been something you were already there for. CTE? Did Dr. Mike look at him after? I wouldn't be surprised if he has some CTE. But no, I don't think he's boxed enough to... I don't know. Can you get CTE from, like, just a couple punches? I don't know enough about CTE. Because I know that in, like, football, those guys are constantly just boom, just boom, boom, boom. And I don't even watch sports, but boom, boom, boom. And it usually takes, like, years of that for them to develop CTE over time. I don't think it happens from one boxing match. This is just a pity me video, which is most of his videos now.
So yeah, some of these things that might seem extraneous, in my opinion, were entirely necessary, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Oh yeah, you totally had to have 4 different parties to help with your trauma. You hear that, veterans? If you get PTSD, you should just throw multiple different parties and you'll feel better.
Hey, quick question. Here we go. Talking about boxing. And I know this isn't the same because he's not an amateur boxer. He's a professional. But here's something that he wasn't expecting to happen at a professional boxing match. So I can't remember who Mike Tyson was boxing, but he bit the guy's fucking ear off. I'm pretty sure that, like, having your ear bitten off in a boxing match is extremely rare. That might be the only time in history it's ever fucking happened. Did he complain and need trauma afterward? Just curious. I don't remember that being a thing.
Base?
Ian also spent a lot of money on
Need to add that to
security,
my soundboard.
basically kicking out anyone who was wearing costumes in case Sam Hyde showed up, which he didn't because he had a live stream reality show to make. The event also failed because the marketing for it was terrible. The only time people talked about it was during the Froggy Fresh drama, and some forgot they even bought tickets. And also, for an event called Creator Clash, Ian should be getting some actual creators to box, not random friends of his.
Yeah, it was the same thing with Creator Clash 3. I think it was even worse during Creator Clash 3. It was mostly his friends. Like, we went over the card when it was first announced here on stream, and I pulled up every one of the creators. I didn't know who half of them fucking were. And there were some big ones on there. Like, I don't watch Minecraft creators, so I didn't know who Tubbo was, and I looked him up, and he's got a couple million. Like, he's a pretty big guy. But there was, I can't remember the name of the creator. He's a small creator, but there was 1 or 2 of them on there whose numbers were, like, not that much bigger than mine. Like, there was one girl who had like 3,000 subs, and the views she was getting on her videos rivaled mine. She'd get a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand. I usually get a couple hundred. Every now and then I break 1,000, or I get a bigger video. It's getting bigger over time. But yeah, it looked like she was like on my level, just slightly above me. And I was like, who the fuck is this person? And why are they in Creator Clash 3? Like, who's going to buy tickets to oh, you go to her Instagram, and she's got a bunch of pictures with Anissa. Ah, okay, so you're one of their friends. Yeah, so it's just an excuse for you and your friends to feel like celebrities.
No hate to some of these guys.
For you guys to LARP and role play as celebrities and give yourself your own red carpet event, your own gala, and all of this stuff. Like, the boxing wasn't even thought about. Like, if you remove the boxing from it, you would think they were preparing to go to, like, the Oscars or some shit. Yeah, because that's how they treated it. Would I box iDubbbz? Yeah, sure. I'm not that, like, I've never boxed before, and he's got more experience than me. He would win. I don't know. It'd be fun, and I would absolutely do it for charity, because I would make sure that 100% of everything went to charity, minus my expenses, because I don't have any money. So somebody's gonna have to pay my expenses. There ain't no getting reimbursed. I don't got $12,000 to spend on fucking boxing training. I'm a normal guy with a job and a YouTube channel. But yeah, I'd box him just for the shits and giggles of it. Even if I lost, I'd make sure I hurt him a little bit before I went down.
Guys, but most of these people aren't relevant at all. I mean, my videos perform better than some of these influencers. And my 20
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one. Oh, can we go back?
People aren't relevant at all. I mean, my videos were...
Yeah, so look at that here. Let's full screen this. 2.95. So just under 3,000 subs, and her videos are getting, 500 views, 700 views. Yeah, like, that was the one I looked at, and I was like, who the fuck is this person? Like, my numbers rival this. Not the subscribers. I do need to hit 1,000 subscribers, so if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, that'd be awesome. But, like, my video views, I typically get between 500 and 1,000. I seem to be getting more over 1,000 now recently than before. But yeah, like, she's on my level views wise, and she's in Creator Clash 3. This is because I was trying to figure out who this person was, and I was like, well, maybe because her last video was she had videos about TikTok and stuff. I was like, well, maybe she's big on TikTok. Maybe she's a bigger creator somewhere else. No. Her banner was her Twitch page, so I went to her Twitch page. I was like, well, maybe she's big on Twitch, because I was like, maybe she's a big creator somewhere else. No, her numbers were just like normal people numbers everywhere you go. Couple thousand maybe, like, as far as followers or subscribers. Like, she just seemed like a creator just getting started like me. So I don't, and then you go to her Instagram and you see she has a bunch of pictures with Anissa, that she's personally friends with Anissa Johal. So, okay, there we go. A little nepotism fight here. That's what happened there.
Perform better than some of these influencers. In my 2023, the general public has stopped caring about influencer boxing. Doing a third creator clash would be disastrous, but they tried anyway.
Yeah, like, the only one to break out of the creator boxing era and like make it a thing that people still care about was, who is it, Logan Paul? Is it Logan or Jake Paul? I don't know, I always get those two confused. One of the Paul brothers. And that's because I don't even think people consider like him to be a influencer boxer anymore. He's just a boxer now, fighting actual boxers. Yeah, so yeah, like, the novelty of this is worn off. You're getting diminishing returns already with each one, but you keep making each event bigger and better and more expensive when you're getting diminishing returns already. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's the worst business decisions I've ever fucking seen.
In January 2025, Creator Clash 3 was announced, and the roster wasn't any better. I mean, you had Harley Morenstein from Epic Mealtime back again, along with the Odd Ones Out and two Minecraft YouTubers.
And Dad.
And honestly...
Yeah, so like, his big names were just people who returned a second time, but the novelty of them is worn off. We've seen Dad fight. We've seen Harley fight twice now. Yeah, like, we need something new. We want something new.
The opportunity to see two Minecrafters get punched in the head would make it worth it. But just like the last event, there's barely been any promotion for it. Ian released one video on the subject in a live stream nobody watched. Harley has been the only one extensively promoting it, even going on various podcasts and live streams to back up the event. He seems to always be playing both sides.
He has since backed out, by the way. I know this video is 2 weeks old, so that was before that happened. But even all of his efforts to promote it, and he being the one guy to take it seriously. Yeah, and he doesn't even like force his boxers to promote the event. He was the one frequently going on commentary channels on podcasts, trying to promote the shit out of it and trying to trying to help people go that, you know, like, it's not as bad as it sounds. This one's going to be better. Like, he was defending the fuck out of it. And they kind of threw him under the bus too, so he quit. So I forget, like, maybe he'll play that here, because I'm not sure how old that video is, but there was one where he went on Nicholas Dioreo's live stream, and he was talking to Nick, and he was like, him and his crew were getting treated differently than everybody else. And the only thing different with him and his crew than everybody else is they were the only Jews. They were the only Jewish people. Yeah, and he had a disagreement with him over something, and he finally snapped and just went, I'm done. So now there's no main event fighter at all for Creator Clash 3. Harley has also backed out. And when your biggest, like, the biggest guy promoting an event in your event is out, I don't even know how you recover from that.
Besides, but doing a terrible job at it. And I like the guy, but it leads to some aggravating conversations.
For numbers wise, how can I trust your numbers when you told everybody that they had outsold Creator Clash 1 during the lead up with the Froggy stuff?
What I did was I said that specifically to Tommy C.
I remember listening to this when it happened, and it was obvious he was lying through his teeth and just trying to promote the event, which he later, to his credit, he later admitted to, and he was like, I mean, I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and trying to listen to them, but, you know, trying to say that it wasn't that bad and people should give it a chance, but there's no saving this thing, so I backed out. Yeah, so he just finally, like, admitted that there was no backing out of it, that there was no saving it. So once he started being honest, I didn't dislike him as much anymore, but this was still a terrible conversation. He has some of the worst arguments in defense of Creator Clash here.
Yeah.
Only to Tommy C. That was not like a public thing. Tommy wasn't a journalist. It wasn't something to quote. I was literally sending him bullshit because I was like, fuck this guy. Which, by the way, shout out Tommy C. I don't have any issues with him. I actually kind of like him today in this day and age. But that wasn't like an official quote. So the fact that he took it, the DM, and spread it out, that was never it. It was literally, I was just like, fuck this guy. I was like,
so
dude,
you fed info to Tommy knowing that he was going to leak it, but then...
No, I didn't know. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, this guy's a fucking random. I'll say whatever I want to him. But then he was like, yo, it's a...
Yeah, these are all lies. He absolutely knows who Tommy C is. He's not just some random. The guy's been in commentary community forever. Like, he's a pretty known name. He definitely knew who he was. He definitely knew what he was doing. So this was all bullshit.
Official, and people were...
And to Nicholas Dioreo's credit, he saw right through the bullshit.
Like, why'd you tell him that? I was like, I don't respect that person. I lied to him.
Besides that, there was some little-known drama that happened in February with the booby streamer Amaranth. She got into controversy for...
Booby streamer. Most people just like go OnlyFans model because that one's accurate and she can't argue. But booby streamers, that's a classic take on that.
Clip of hers that resurfaced, where she discusses LGBTQ activists.
The two fires charred more than 37,000
right there.
acres.
They can all live. That's
over
a lovely
16,000
community.
structures and cost 29 people their lives.
Too bad it didn't cause the right people their lives.
I guess I'm not allowed to question the behavior of activists who threaten to...
Yeah, I thought she got an unrealistic amount of backlash for that one little comment there because people were trying to say it's racist, and I was like, well, maybe she was talking about other creators who live in that area. Like, who cares? Jesus Christ, that was a big nothing burger. I don't like to defend Amaranth because she's cringe, but yeah, that was a nothing burger. Have a good stream. I'm heading to bed. Well, thank you for popping in. Sub to the channel. Check out the videos. I try to do this every night. So, and I'm open to feedback. I'm trying to get better. But it's good having you here. Thanks for popping in.
Incite violence against their own community without being accused of hating the group affiliation they happen to belong to. I also don't assume the actions of a specific few are indicative of the whole. But thanks for making me a trend. Someone replied, telling her to put the fries in the bag, to which Amaranth said she owns all the McDonald's in her city, which she apparently does not. Ian got
That's still a good
involved,
joke.
as he had previously worked with Amaranth at the previous Career Clash events. If there are any McDonald's workers, or members of the LGBTQ or both who would like to beat up Amaranth,
Oh my god, dude, that is, yeah, the overreaction to such a simple joke. I own all of the McDonald's in my area. I mean, think she's cringe if you won't, and I do. Solid joke. Solid joke, I'm on board. Jesus Christ. Like, you guys are making me like Amaranth. I don't even like Amaranth. She's cringe. I can't watch any of her streams. They're so hard to watch. I mean, I guess you can watch them on mute if that's what you're into. She's not my type, though. There's a lot of videos of me. My wife's usually on stream with me, but she's not feeling good tonight. So you guys can watch some of those videos. Amaranth's clearly not my type, but I digress.
Stars could be aligning. I think you'd need to be around 120 to 130 pounds. And we can set this up. And he was indeed trying to get her on the card, with Morgpie of all people stepping up to fight her. Amaranth seemed down, but nothing ended up happening. It was basically just a way for Ian to drama farm off various e-girls, challenging Amaranth to a boxing event in a failed attempt to promote Creator Clash 3. The event is going to fail, and pretty much everyone can see that. But one of the only defenses is to bring up the charity aspect. Oh, you want a charity event to fail? Yeah, I mean this one kinda, yeah. I mean this whole thing was never about charity in the first place.
There we go, he
Creator
nailed
Clash
it.
has always been an ego boost for Ian and Anissa first
And this was before we realized that they take a cut of the profit. So it's not just an ego boost, it's also how they make their money for that year. This was for profit for them.
foremost. It was a way to get a bunch of YouTubers and streamers they like all in one place, so they can morally grandstand about how great they are before spending shitloads of money on lavish parties. If this was for charity, they wouldn't be offering free trips to their friends to come to the event. And yes, this is something that happens. Froggy Fresh mentioned it in a YouTube comment. I was also pissed when I found out I couldn't buy, out of my own pocket, a room for...
God, people actually read those comments? I left a comment like that once on one of my videos, and I'm like, I'm never doing that again, because I didn't realize how much I was typing, but I had a lot to say because this guy was just so demonstrably wrong, and I was like, I'm going to have to end up making a video on this, because I typed out my response, and I needed to make sure I got all my points in, and by the time I got done typing and looked, my comment looked like that. It looked like I'd written a book, and I was like, fuck. I mean, I typed it now, so I'll send it, but I'm never doing that shit again. Like, the next time I got that much stuff I want to say about people, you know, leaving misinformation in my comments or something, or I got something I need to get off my chest, I'll just say it in a video that I know that they won't watch. So you can leave your comments that you know I won't respond to. There you go. It'll be a nice, mutually beneficial one. I try to respond to comments right now, though, because I am a smaller creator and doing everything I can to boost that engagement. So I do notice it helps that when I'm actively replying to my comments, my video seems to gain views faster than on videos I post and I don't pay attention to the comments. So it does help.
Someone close to me for my walkouts, because people like Hassan, Denims, Frogan, and all these other people who didn't promote the event had nothing to do with it, and were just taking up oxygen. We're given rooms at the hotel and are able to go to everything, but our own friends and family have strict limits. I don't care about going to a party. It just seemed disrespectful that the normal people were denied a room at the inn, so to speak. So Hassan can enjoy the open bar and free catering without having too many gross normies around him.
So he was already glazing Hassan's balls. He was already dick riding back then. He was priming that pump, if you will, to get into that inner circle even back then. So it's all the little shit like that you got to pay attention to, because now that we have the greater context, now that the cat's out of the bag, you can see that, like, iDubbz was never sitting on the fence. iDubbz was never trying to stay out of the drama. He was secretly trying to get into Hassan's good graces the entire time, and it worked. He finally got what he wanted. Oh, as soon as he offered to be their sacrificial lamb, because none of them wanted to make the video about Ethan, but I'm convinced they wrote most of that content cop for him, and that was his price of admission to get into that inner circle. It was a hazing ritual, if you will.
And if you're somehow not convinced, here's what Ian and Anissa had to say about Creator Clash right before the first event.
Is there like a payday in the future you guys are working towards?
No, not really. I think we always want to have, if we keep doing this type of event, and we kind of want it to be like a Super Bowl, like every year.
Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
If it works out, then we can do that, and there could always be a charity aspect to it. But I think the main goal is just to get the people paid who are involved in making it happen.
Right. The main goal is to get paid. It's to have a fun time with all my friends, have us LARP as celebrities and feel like celebrities, have a window into the Hollywood world, because I think that's what they really want. I think that they all really wish that they were real famous, not internet famous, and this is their way of LARPing in that world for a minute and getting paid as if they were celebrities. It's their little moment. He's addicted to that, and he wants that. It was always about the money and the people. The charity was always an afterthought.
happen rather than like making exorbitant amounts of money.
So your goal is to build an institution of sorts, this creator clash, where you can have
it's
people.
fun.
There's a champion every year.
It's a party.
Interesting.
It's like
super
a
stoked to-
way more exciting VidCon, or like I want it to be
Yeah, there
like
you go.
influencers can like care about this and fans can care about this and like you can go
Interesting.
watch it and have like a
Yeah, it was more of that for them. They didn't care about the boxing aspect at all. That was just the gimmick to get people in the door. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were going to do it for a few years and then eventually just like slowly make the focus less on the boxing. If it had been successful, I believe this would have been their plan. Would be to do the boxing event, have less and less fighters in each event as time goes on. So by the time you get to Creator Clash like 5 or 6, then eventually it's just going to be one big main event, 2 boxers, so they don't have to pay out a bunch of people, and then they can keep the rest of that money. And then the meat and potatoes of the event would be the galas and the red carpet and all that stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if they started charging admission for people to go to those. They might even have done award shows. Yeah, like they wanted it to be like a VidCon, not a boxing event. And charity, you notice, doesn't get mentioned at all when they're first conceptualizing this idea. There might be an element of charity. Yeah, okay.
build up, like maybe parties before and like stuff like
Yeah, because we've gone to like the last Jake Paul event, and it was crazy the amount of influencers that were there. Excited to see it. They weren't all my cup of tea.
Sure.
But it was exciting. Everyone wanted to be there. It was fun, and I think if we can harness some of that, but have it be even more exciting, because all of our fighters are mystery fights. You don't know how it's going to go. And then you have this, charity element. It's just like a win all around.
So in the future, maybe there'll be more profits potentially for you guys.
Potentially, but we're not looking at that really.
The charity aspect has always been an afterthought. The main goal has always been to make a VidCon-like event where they get a bunch of their friends together. Briefly, I want to switch gears and talk about Ian's former friend, Ethan Klein. For quite some time now, Ethan and his community have basically been at war with Hassan and his community. This all culminated in Ethan releasing a content nuke on Hassan, calling him out on his extreme political stances and deceptive tactics used to radicalize people. Hassan and his orbiters did not take lightly to this video, discrediting it any way they could. I went over some of this in my Mike from PA video, mainly how these guys have been claiming Ethan is in leagues with Destiny, despite Ethan making it clear that he thinks Destiny is a disgusting piece of shit. Now I do think there are some things to criticize Ethan for, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge that the conduct of his opponents are far worse. I mean, the harassment from this has gotten so far that CPS, yes, Child Protective Services, was called to Ethan's house.
On Friday morning, an agent showed up to our house saying that they had received an anonymous tip.
To be clear, before any of you fucking morons show up in my chat or in my comments, if you're someone who's going to defend the CPS call, there's literally no defense for this. There is no action, no online action that Ethan has made that justifies attacking his children. None. I don't care what disgusting shit you say he said, or how much you thought he's crashed out, or how unhinged you think he's acting. So far, all of his actions have been online. So all of the responses should have also been online. You brought this into the real world. There is no justification for that. There is no reason to target his children, especially over a claim made by some dude in a third world country with zero evidence behind it. Sorry, none.
That our children were crawling around in dog shit, eating dog shit, and contracting diseases. Not only have they called CPS on us, now they're starting to try to call in a 5150 to get me committed. It's really gone on too far, and at this point,
no one talks about that. I forgot about that. Yeah, they're trying to have him committed as insane. Like, that's what they're doing. They're going after his children. They're trying to have him committed as insane. Meanwhile, they're sending human skulls to his house. And trying to leave him with the bill. That's why the tag was on the skulls, because whoever ordered those skulls somehow had a way to order them. I'm not sure what deal they worked out, but they had a way to order those skulls and have it sent to Ethan's house without paying for them. So the tag was left on it because after the skulls arrived at Ethan's house, he was left with the fucking bill for these skulls. So not only did you send skulls to his house, but they came with a $2,000 bill. So of course he sent them back, but not before he showed them to the FBI. So whether or not he sent them back to the company or whether or not the FBI like took them back to the company or admitted them into evidence, that's unclear. The H3 Snark subreddit will have you believe that he just returned them, which is proof that he never called the FBI. I don't doubt that you call the FBI over something that they're going to answer. Especially if you show them the video that Bad and Panada sent him after the skulls and the CPS call were sent. He has this crazy video. I covered it in one of my past streams where he sent this directly to Ethan in a DM. It's not a public video. Ethan, of course, leaked it, but it's him basically gloating about the harassment and saying, I bet today was a bad day, wasn't it? And it's got this ominous music playing in the background. He's like, it's only going to get worse, Ethan. Yeah, like it comes off like a video made by a fucking terrorist. So you show that video to the FBI, you show them the skulls. I think it's pretty cut and dry that they're going to be like, yeah, we'll look into it. So I don't doubt that for a second.
Ready to take no prisoners, take the gloves off, and call out everybody who needs to be called out. The thing is, once you target my children, then a line's been crossed that cannot be walked back.
Yep.
Once my kids are involved, when people are targeting my children, harassing my children, there's no length that I won't go to take care of this. And I think that's something that every parent can relate to.
Yep.
All these people, incidentally, who are promoting this type of insanity are, in fact, childless and will likely remain that way.
Now, we're not sure.
Yeah, no one with children would defend this. I have 2 kids of my own. I stand by that statement. There's absolutely no online action that you can take that would justify this kind of harassment in the real world. None. No one with children would agree with that. Ever.
Where the call originated, but Ethan has reasonable suspicions to believe it came from the H3 Snark subreddit, as they have been spreading false rumors that Ethan's kids had contracted Giardia due to him being neglectful. This is misconstrued from a H3 podcast episode where Ethan talks about his new dog getting sick. He thought his youngest son got sick too, since Giardia can be easily spread, but that turned out to not be the case. People still ran with the narrative, with Bad Panada talking about it on his channel. iDubbbz, one of Hassan's orbiters, reacted to it on stream, and not once pushed back against anything Bad Panada is saying.
So now the house is just like covered in dog shit, and he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over his house.
Dude, how is it?
Yeah, so he jump cuts there, but if you watch it in the real stream, like she still says that shit, which is she asks if it's true because she knows how ridiculous it sounds and then does nothing to verify it. She asks if it's true and then immediately after she's like, well, this is insane. I can't believe that he would, and just starts immediately acting as if it is. So we all watch her question it in real time and not verify it and then act like it's true.
How is it that like maybe once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting Giardia.
We already have Mold Mondays. Now we have Shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small
The
children.
guy that made that fucking donation must feel pretty proud of himself because it is being played relentlessly on the internet over and over again because it's part of that clip. Like, this is his 15 minutes of fame moment here. Shame that they put that cutout of the chat over top of her video so you can't see who actually did the donation, though.
Children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
iDubbbz, who are single in our late 20s, obviously does not know that kids get sick all the time, and that's perfectly normal. Now this clip shows a scrolling chat.
It's not only perfectly normal, it used to be intentional and encouraged because that's how humans build immune systems. And some things are the exact opposite of what you just said, where you get them as an adult, you're fine, but as a kid, it's deadly. Something like chickenpox, for example, if you get it as an adult, it can be deadly, but a child can shake it off. A child can recover from it and develop an immunity that will last a lifetime. Now, before they came out with a vaccine for chickenpox back in the 80s, when I was growing up, parents would have chickenpox parties. And all of the kids in the neighborhood would go to this party that the parents had like thrown this sleepover with the intent of making sure every kid in the house got sick. They were intentionally making children sick with chickenpox so that they would get it early, develop an immunity for it. And that's how we got the immunity for chickenpox before the vaccine. Because getting it as an adult can be debilitating, but getting it as a child, it's the equivalent of having the flu. So it's the exact opposite. So tell me you don't know how children work, Denims, without telling me you don't know how children work. You childless fuck.
With all mentions of
And if there's a God above, she'll stay that way.
calling CPS within a 15-minute time period. I chose the clip from the original source, but that appears to be lost media. After Ethan announced the CPS call, Denibbz quickly unlisted it, and one of her clips channels privated it. She doesn't want you to watch the original, knowing it makes her look bad. She would then try to excuse the CPS call by saying kids don't form memories at a young age, which is about on par for other takes. Now another person who spread the false narrative...
Yeah, she actually disproved that herself on her own stream when she did Google it. It's funny that she'll Google to verify that, but won't Google to verify something that can lead to a guy having his children taken away. That's insane to me. But no one calls that one out. So she Googles it and finds out that the average age that people start developing memories is 3.5. Average age, which means for quite a few people it's probably before that, and for quite a few people it's probably after. The average is 3.5. So she reads that out loud on her stream and then immediately after says, you're not developing memories until 4. Like, just ignoring the thing that she just read. It's insane. The level of gaslighting that's so blatantly obvious from this side of the internet, and the number of people who just fall for it, who just all they're looking for is an excuse. Just give me a reason, and then their creator gives them a reason, and they'll roll with it every time.
narrative of Ethan being neglectful is Froggy Tonic. Not to be confused with Froggy Fresh, Froggy Tonic is a former editor for iDubbz who's helped with Critter Clash 2. He's been shit-talking Ethan for over a year now, but started ramping it up following the release of the content nuke. He's made tweets calling Ela Klein a cunt, saying Ethan neglects his dogs, and that he neglects his kids. And some of this came out a few days before the CPS call. Ethan would begin calling him out, following a tweet where Froggy blames Ela for corrupting him, which is the sort of thing people have been saying about Anissa for years. Froggy completely ignores this point, and instead calls Ethan a toddler. He then said, "Brother, you're 39. Go pick up the leftover Lexus and Addies off the carpet, and go clean the feces off your floor. Didn't one of your kids get Giardia? Come on, man, you're beefing with a rando who wants you and your family to be happy. Stop bathing in this toxic pattern." Ethan would bring him up on stream, mentioning the fact that Anissa was interacting with Froggy at the very same week.
The part that got to me about this is just like, this is apparently someone who's like a professional career as an editor, who's worked with my friends on the previous Creator Clash, edited everything for them, who they still interact friendly with. And that just fucking breaks my heart. It does, as a human being.
Ethan gets emotional after this, as he has to explain how his dog died to dispel the narrative that he was neglectful. He turns his attention back to Ian and Anissa after this, noting their silence on the matter.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Ela's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like, she's like a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on Anissa's and iDubbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered for saying one goddamn fucking thing in our defense. Like, actually, Ela's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far. Because
it's even worse than that, Ethan. Oh, Ethan, before you learned, you were so innocent back then. Before you learned that iDubbz didn't speak out, not because he was worried about his safety, but because the real reason was he agreed with them. He agreed with them, even though he knew that the claims weren't true. He was 100% on board with calling your wife a baby killer and having your kids be threatened and sending skulls to your house. All of it. He was 100% on board with them.
they have mobilized. I've probably done and stood by iDubbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them because I love those guys. I vouched for their character, and I stood by them 100%. And listen, I'm not saying that they're not the good, nice, fine people that I thought they were, but I'll say this: I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine.
They're not.
That's what I'll say at this moment.
Fair.
And certainly, I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even.
And the ironic part is, despite all of their efforts, I can't wait to see the look on, because the fallout is inevitable. Ethan, iDubbz is on thin ice. The minute he has a disagreement, and he's not a yes man for Hassan, the minute he disagrees or gives him any kind of pushback, the minute he gets comfortable and does that, it's over. These people aren't friends of his. And he threw the one real friend he had under the bus.
Talked about it. So I have nothing. I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man. That's not what I need.
Now, Ian and Anissa have been stuck between a rock and a hard place due to this, as they've been friends with Ethan and Hila for years now, are also friendly with Hassan and a few of his orbiters, and I don't think they're obligated to speak out, but they clearly want to. Following the release of the content nuke, Ian didn't want to talk about it, seeing it as a sensitive subject, though it would get mentioned on their podcast a month later.
I'd love to hear your thoughts. No, I'm not going to give you our thoughts on the H3 content nuke. I refuse.
Let me put it this way. We're very busy.
And yeah, if we let any of that enter our fucking lives, we'd kill ourselves.
And then he makes a content cop of his own, immediately jumping head first and thrusting that in and making that his entire life now. Because he doesn't even have Creator Clash. Like, this is his life now. This beef is all he has. Wow. What a fucking snake, man. Because he was secretly glazing Hassan and like planning all that shit while this was happening. Like, he didn't write that fucking content cop and decide to do it in a day. This was months in the making. He knew what he had planned, and then just goes on his podcast and lies.
Kill yourselves. It's not me implying it, guys. It's them. Ian, I recommend a noose. During this stream, where Ethan and Hila...
Dude! Oh, I wish I would have known that was coming. I guess I don't have to blur it because he didn't blur it on his, but fuck me, dude.
Address the CPS call. He once again calls out Ian and Anissa's silence.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah, and our other good friends.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Yeah. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times, cause like, why would I not? It was crazy. It's crazy. People were shitting on you and Ian because you did OnlyFans. Of course I was gonna stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me. So
the problem.
Okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know.
In her chat,
yeah.
Which I'll show.
Denims
is actually participating in this whole Child Protective Service lie.
Yeah.
Which I'll
and if
show
you're
you guys
friends with them, then you're seeing what they're saying, right?
Oh, well, that Child Protective Service is even the worst thing. I mean, she's said worse things about you and me.
Yeah.
And I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well,
it's impossible. I'm sure all of you've had it in your life at some point, and if you haven't, just know that it could happen, that you could be friends with two people, and at some point you try to stay out of the beef because you don't want to be involved in their beef, but at some point one of them can cross a line so egregious that you have to pick a side. You saying nothing would be you agreeing with that person doing the bad thing, and that other friend would go, I can't be friends with someone who's associated with someone this bad. So you'll eventually, that happens in a lot of friend groups, you eventually do come to a point where you can't sit on the fence forever, and a line in the sand is drawn, and you got to pick a side, them or me. And this was that line. Going after a man's child, yes, that's that line. And I can't be friends. I couldn't personally. Doesn't look like Ethan can either. I couldn't personally be friends with someone who was still friends with the guy who was trying to have my children taken away. Like, if you're going to be friends with him, then you can't be friends with me. I can't be friends with someone who's cool with that. Even if you're not going to speak out against it or in favor of it, you being friends with them means you're cool with it. Like, no, this is uncomfortable and weird. I can't do it. That's what happened here. And all he had to do, if he really cared about his friendship with Ethan, was just be honest. He even could have done it in a way where he's got where you can kind of ride the fence and have plausible deniability, and then still say he spoke out. Like a simple statement that, you know, he could show to the authorities or something, that you act as a character witness. Say, as someone who's known Ethan for almost 10 years, I've been to his house many times. I have seen no evidence of mistreatment of the children. So you didn't say he didn't do it. You just said that if he has, you hadn't seen it. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's it. The fact that he wouldn't even do that is telling.
You can't. So I already forgot about you.
Ethan also brings up a text conversation he had with Anissa regarding Froggy Tonic, where she insists that Froggy doesn't work with them anymore, but clearly isn't willing to say anything about it publicly.
Like they say something like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually.
She thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So go
yeah,
fuck yourself.
she agrees with them.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Now, honestly, I don't think Anissa or Ian technically have to say anything publicly, but with Ethan and Hila...
No, they do. They do. This is a public beef, a public drama. Unless they've been questioned by the cops and they can tell it directly to the cops. Right now, with all of this being public, a public statement is required. I'm going to disagree with Rob on this one. That's all they had to do is make a tweet. Public statement. Okay, you're all public figures. This beef is very public, so the disavowal also needs to be public. That's it.
Are noticing is that they very clearly agree with Hassan and his community, and won't publicly address it because they're pussies. They don't want to cause a rift between themselves and H3, but they intrinsically have to if they're friends of people like Froggy or Denims, who are willing to spread lies about them. Ian and Anissa would respond a few days later on another podcast episode, where they try their hardest to not mention the CPS stuff at all.
Ethan's upset with, I think, some of our connections, and...
I mean, this is only a 2-week-old video, so I'm sure he's going to get to the content cop, but it looks like he's building a timeline here. So he's not talking about future stuff until he gets to that point in the timeline. I'm sure he'll get to it.
You know, we've tried to reach out to Ethan to talk privately. Basically, it just seems like we're at a bit of an impasse. So we want to stay out of the drama as much as possible. We don't want to pile on and add to anything. So this is our, you know, lukewarm addressing of it. It's, you know, we're always open to talk, privately, especially. And, yeah, we'll, you know, the door's always open.
Yeah, the door's always open. I want to, like, really drive it home. We don't condone harassment of
we don't
any kind.
Condone harassment of any kind.
Of any kind, okay, period. Which is why we have not stuck our foot in any of this, because it is not...
Don't condone harassment of any kind. Proceeds to make a content cop on H3.
Not productive. I don't think it's helpful.
There's a bunch of tangents in here, with Ian bringing up his apology video for the 100th time. They morally grandstand about how bad harassment is, while never diving into the specifics of the situation of Ethan. They instead compare him to Etika for some reason.
Like, that was somebody who clearly was experiencing a mental health issue. And the last thing that they needed, and this is my attitude, like, full...
Am I the only one sick of hearing about Etika's, like, let this man rest in peace? Like, I don't believe any of these people actually cared about him as a content creator, as a YouTuber. They just love to, like, dig up and parade his corpse around for sympathy. It's fucking disgusting, dude.
Full stop on this period. The last thing somebody who's going through something like that needs is more eyes on it. And more, like, people weighing in. Right? And, like, that's why I'm...
Last thing you need is more eyes on it. Anyway, let me dig up the corpse of this YouTuber to put more eyes on it.
Kind of angry that we even have to, like, talk about it here is that, like, whether or not people who are in it right now realize it on any side, the more people who weigh in, the more people who add to the conversation, the more people who amplify it, the worse that it gets. We were in it, and at the time when we were in it and we wanted...
She's referring to us kind of going through a fucking hard time on the internet, being harassed, videos made about us, people weighing in.
People still make videos about us. And at the time, before, like, we got help, before we went to therapy, like...
So what did you guys think would happen if you made a content cop? Like, you think videos are being made about you now? I mean, you're internet legend, iDubbbz. People are going to make videos about you forever, but for the most part, they kind of die off after a while and you can leave them alone. It's not like everyone is talking about you or making videos about you. So what did you think would happen if you make a content cop on H3 and get in bed with Hassan? Because now everyone is making videos on you and talking about you, including me. Fucking moron.
Yes, there was this attitude of like, why the fuck aren't people saying things? Why the fuck is no one like saying how wrong this is? Like, of course we had anger about that, but like we had to, now that we've gone to therapy and we've worked through all these things, like, one, the videos have not stopped, right?
And they won't.
The comments about us have not stopped. What has stopped is me caring about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys getting criticized, but
One look at her Twitter shows that she has not stopped caring about it. This shit lives rent-free in her brain, dude. She is obsessed over it.
the commentary community is in no way comparable to having CPS called in your house, just because people didn't like a video you made. It's fucking ridiculous. This podcast would get torn to shreds, which must have motivated Ian to talk about it further. A month later, he announced the return of Content Cop, which sparked both excitement.
Yeah, there
and
we go. So it does get to the Content
Some
Cop.
predicted it could be on Sam Hyde, maybe Asmongold. Personally, I thought it was going to be on Amaranth because of the Twitter beef, but it ended up being about Ethan.
I do have some more bad news for you. Some breaking news.
God, how much does he hate that it got dropped during the week when he had to wear the fucking wig? Legendary. This clip's going to be played forever. Dan's never going to live it down. Awesome.
Your old friend iDubbbz just released a video.
Yeah.
It's about you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god. That is the... No, it can't be.
Well...
It actually can't be. Holy fuck, dude.
It sure is.
Oh my god. Holy fuck.
And from a quick scrub through, I think, well, it's going to be a little spicy.
This guy went from saying he didn't want to get involved to supporting people calling CPS, like associating with people calling CPS in my family. An atmosphere where someone like Bad Empanada is being platformed by people like Matt Lieb and Denims, who are friends with.
It looks like they're both in the video.
This new Content Cop on Ethan Klein is one of the worst videos I've seen in a while, and there's a few main reasons why I think that. A big one for me is that this feels less like a Content Cop, and more like an initiation ritual to join Hassan Pecker's orbit. Ian and Anissa have always been...
It's a hazing ritual to get into the fraternity, the cult of Hassan. And every time I see one of those commenters like come into my comments or come into my chat and start screaming about how there's not a cult of Hassan, I put the cult of Hassan as the title of one of my videos just to see what they'd... And if you guys want a fun read, go read the comments on that video. It's a bunch of people claiming it's not a cult while they repeatedly chant the cult mantra in my comments. Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. Oh, and their little dog whistle in my comments too, because my wife was on stream with me, and they kept putting watermelon emojis in my chat. In my comments. Oh, that's just, yeah. You guys are a real classy bunch. Oh my god, dude. All I think about when I see those people is that Key and Peele skit where the two guys are late going to the fucking cult meeting, and everybody at the cult had already drank the Kool-Aid, and then the cops show up and they're just standing around a bunch of dead bodies, and they're like, how did you guys escape the cult? And they're like, ain't no cult, don't know what you're talking about, ain't no cult. That's them, man. They're that fucking meme brought to life.
been hovering around these guys, but this recent drama probably motivated them to align with them publicly even more so. My theory is that every time they get into a major controversy, instead of addressing it head on...
Okay, gonna point that out for those of you gooners watching me right now, for those of you gooners in chat, who, go, well, I mean, I don't blame iDubbbz. Did you see Anissa? She got a nice rack. No, she doesn't. She didn't have a nice rack. They bought her a nice rack. See there? See those there? He paid for those. He bought her those. And then they were removed before Creator Clash where she was supposed to box. So you see boobies there. No boobies. The boobies is gone. I don't think she ever got them put back in. So there you go. Just kind of a fun side fact for you.
They retreat deeper and deeper into the communities who would defend them. Get criticized for doing OnlyFans? Assimilate into spaces where that's acceptable. Get criticized for the Sam Hyde documentary? Assimilate into spaces where Sam Hyde is hated. Get criticized.
Yeah, instead of finding ways to defend your actions, just run to places where your actions are accepted. And as their actions get worse and worse, they're driven deeper and deeper into those communities. And that's how they ended up with Hassan. His community is the only one that's going to be on board with like the heinous shit that Ethan's having to put up with in real life over an internet beef.
Size for your shitty apology video? Assimilate into spaces that think that was amazing. The main two communities that were defending them were Hassan's and H3's. But now that he's being criticized by the latter community, he's ingraining himself deeper into Hassan's. And this whole video feels more like a defense of Hassan and his cronies than an actual takedown on Ethan. I could honestly guarantee you that I can make a better critique of Ethan than this. I mean, Ian does a disservice by having this at the beginning of the video.
Wake up. Since anyone? Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not gonna do a react content yet, chat.
You think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
So he's collaborating with Hassan, iDubbbz, Frogan, and Sean the Black. No, I'm not racist.
Yep, they had to bring their token in, which is ironic given that they're giving Ethan shit for calling Matt Lieb a token. They literally brought their token on for the video.
That's his name. He's basically a race grifter whose only claim to fame is a rant he went on about how if he killed Destiny, America will finally be a socialist nation. This whole skit is fucking awful.
Yeah, no one knew who he was before that rant, and everyone's forgotten about him since.
Awful. These are apparently supposed to be serious, hardened political creators, but they're doing shit that 15-year-olds would post on TikTok. They were getting all these photos taken like it was the coolest thing in the world. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes! Oh, I can't wait to hear his take on this one. Everyone just tries to like point out how it looks like a swastika. Oh, I get it. It's an inverted swastika. Also, that's a 3D object. Real quick. That's a 3D object. So, you know, I'll use my my Switch controller here. That's a 3D object. That means that both people standing on two sides of it don't see an inverted swastika. One of you sees the swastika. There's no way you didn't know it looked like a swastika. Because if the camera is seeing, when he's holding it and waving it at the camera, if the camera is seeing an inverted swastika, iDubbbz sees the swastika. Okay? Jesus Christ, so fucking simple.
I'm Hitler's top guy. What am I gonna do? Adolf Hitler chose me to lead the revolution.
What's ironic about this is that Ian tries to present Hassan and his supporters as hardened political scholars, and compares that to how goofy Ethan is. When in reality, Hassan spends much of his streams talking about internet drama like everyone else. He just does it from a high horse.
On the other hand...
You're no better than me. I mean, you arguably look better than me, but still, you're no better than me. I'm better than him, morally. We both just do internet drama. I can just admit that I enjoy the slop, that I'm just here for the drama. I don't give two fucks about politics.
And he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer. So this is something they're very keyed into.
Ian also brings up the infamous 9/11 comment.
They aren't, and his audience isn't keyed in to politics. Again, one look at my comment section will prove that. All they do is parrot the stuff he says, and when you shoot any of it down or give some pushback to it, they don't know how to defend it, so they just resort to insults, like children.
And criticizes Ethan for thinking it was a joke.
Ethan talks about being aware of Hassan's 9/11 comments, and then sort of leaves it at that, like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them as edgy moments or jokes.
You might remember him from such classics as...
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would conflate the two. That is
Look at this on screen. It's already more interesting than Creator Clash. Ha ha! Okay, sorry.
someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case, American imperialism and terrorism. You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hassan a little bit more and found out what his international politics opinions are, but you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it online.
Now, personally, I don't think it's a joke, but if you look at the original clip, Hassan presents it as such.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them. We're not there doing our own thing. We're there partnering and training
In a video
and
game.
equipping
And in the same Hassan stream, he's making edgy jokes about terrorists penetrating Dan Crenshaw's eye.
What the fuck is wrong with this dude? Didn't he go to war and like literally lose his eye because some mujahideen, a brave fucking soldier, fucked his eye hole with their dick? Isn't that how he lost his fucking dumbass eye? Because he got his fucking eye hole fucked by a brave soldier?
So
by a brave enemy soldier at a country we were at war with at the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, even if you agree Hassan wasn't joking, I think showing a bit more context will explain why Ethan would come to that conclusion.
Even if he was joking, it's an unacceptable joke. I'm sorry. I mean, man went through hell to protect this country, and you're praising the people that gave him that hell. It's just like there's no context in which that's funny unless you're someone who is on the other side. Unless you're supporting terrorism, which he does. It's not a joke.
Now, as part of the initiation ritual, Ian clearly chooses the side of Hassan, while at the same time downplaying his years-long relationship with H3. That to me is really
Yeah, he reframes that relationship like 3 times in that video. First it's you know, they were coworkers. Oh, first they were light friends, then they were coworkers, and then by the end of it they were acquaintances.
fucking vile. I mean, he's choosing to associate with some of the biggest scumbags on the internet, but for someone who has had his back for nearly a decade.
Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with iDubbbz, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that...
If that ain't the most insulting shit ever, to say that you're on the same level of friendship with those two people that you had with people who help you build your career and that you've known for the better part of a decade. What, have you been friends with them for like 2 months? Fuck off, dude.
She's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people. Kind of a tricky situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core? People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know, I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
This is an incredibly dishonest interpretation of how iDubbbz operates online. I've delved into this through multiple videos now, but iDubbbz is a truly horrific human being. She placed a 30k bounty on someone over petty drama, defended Keffels after they were exposed as a scam artist, victim blames teenagers who get porn addictions, called Froggy Fresh a Nazi, said America deserved 9/11, outright called Tectone an abuser without any evidence, spread a false...
She has no shame and no morals. She will say whatever will get her clipped and clicked. Whatever will get her views. And she'll also show off her body for those views too, because it's just the cleavage is always there, and she has an OnlyFans too. So she is 100% an attention whore, and she's working in a field where attention equals profit. So this is all for profit for her.
Narrative that led to CPS being called to Ethan's house, and way more. But no, according to Ian, she's a good person who says things she doesn't mean for attention. It's not like she's displayed years of unhinged and fucked up behavior that's rightfully given her a bad reputation.
Those were all just things she doesn't mean too, see? You're misunderstanding. Everything she said online is stuff she doesn't mean. When she's online, she's playing a character. I'm waiting for them to pull that card. She's playing a character. That's not the way she is in real life. Although that leaked call between her and, or that leaked recording where she was talking to Destiny at Destiny's house, which was in real life, proves otherwise.
Ethan's the bad one because he's against Hassan and is pissed because Child Protective Services got called to his house, and someone sent human skulls through the mail. And yes, this did indeed happen. Ethan would bring this up following the Content Cops release.
There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI. Things have progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does.
And again, Ethan isn't...
And he's 100% right. Like, this stopped being internet beef the minute you transitioned it into the real world. I probably would have laughed at this and not cared as much had they not started the real world shit. Like, that was the line that should have never been crossed. And I don't know how you can defend anyone who's crossed that line. Because last I checked, nothing has been mailed to Hassan's house. No one has showed up at his door. He hasn't been swatted. Nor has that happened to Denims or Frogan or Sean DeBlack or Mike from PA or anyone in that group. It just hasn't happened. Ethan probably could go hard and be justified in doing it. You know, fight fire with fire. But he hasn't crossed that line, and neither has anyone in his community.
Perfect. But I think comparing Ethan's behavior to Denims is absurd. I also just hate the fact that Ian is rewriting history and making it seem like he was never good friends with Ethan. These guys have been collaborating since 2016, and Ian was one of the first guests on the H3 podcast. He's made guest appearances with Anissa almost yearly, and Ethan and Ela were always there to defend them from hate, while at the same time promoting both Crater Clash events. With Denims, I wouldn't be surprised if Ian's never really talked to her. She's more Anissa's friend, since both of them are Arab booby streamers who do OnlyFans. But now that being friends with him could jeopardize his relationship with the Hassan crowd, Ian became a snake.
Our silence means something.
No shit.
That was my point.
It's almost like we were exactly right in the way we interpreted your silence.
That's why we were upset. Your silence means something. That's what we felt. That's what...
They knew what it meant. They had their suspicions, and they were hoping you would prove them wrong. You failed. You failed to prove them wrong. It was obvious, dude.
We acknowledged. That's what we saw. And you just...
I think you're spending too much time with Denims, because, like, this self-owning... I don't think iDubbbz
doesn't look good on you,
to do that before.
Even when we don't say something, they think we're saying something.
Our silence means something.
And what Ian's too stupid to realize is that Hassan and his orbit will eventually betray him.
Even when we don't say something, they act like it means something. Our silence means something. They contradict themselves constantly. It's whatever gets them out of whatever thing they're in the moment. They're like fucking toddlers, dude. They're like children. No, I don't even want to say they're like children. They're like toddlers, babies. Because my actual children will take more responsibility than these full-grown fucking adults. My daughters are 10 and 11. They will take actual responsibility when they've been caught, and they'll take their punishment, and then they'll learn from it. My kids are better behaved and take more responsibility than these full-grown adults. Now, when they were toddlers, 3 and 4, that age where they don't develop memories yet, when I would catch them doing stuff, they would play around with the idea of gaslighting and lying to my face to see if they can get away with it. They were just so scared to accept the responsibility. They would literally contradict themselves in the same sentence because I'd catch them doing something. And, no, I didn't do it. Well, I saw you do it. No, you didn't see. Well, I mean, I did it, but it wasn't like that. But I just wanted to. Yeah. They're fucking children. They're fucking babies.
Once he says something they disagree with, they're going to dig up every old controversial clip and weaponize it. They've been doing the same thing with Ethan despite being friends with him for several years. Ian, these people you're in bed with have no morals. They only pretend to in order to feign moral superiority.
He's not wrong.
Ian's new content cop is filled with concern trolling, which is when a person pretends to be on your side while presenting some wholehearted concerns.
Oh god, if I gotta hear the fucking get help meme one more goddamn time. All I can think of when I hear them screaming "Get help" is the fucking scene from the Thor movie where Thor and Loki are in the elevator from Ragnarok, and he's like, "You want to do get help? I don't want to do get help. Let's do get help." like it's not real. At least when they did it, it was funny.
Well, in reality, they're doing this to gaslight you into believing their criticisms, despite how shitty they actually are. Ian thinks that if he comes across as a scorned friend, he can better get to Ethan, especially if he mentions Ethan's mental health. This instead comes across as moral grandstanding, something Ian claims he only did in his older content cops.
I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human, I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on.
Were you worried people would call you fake? Is that why you did the real human bit at the end of that? Did you worry that people could see through it, that your act wasn't good enough? Were we seeing that in real time? Like, oh, can people tell I'm being fake right now? I better tell them how real I am.
And I've always found this statement to be stupid because he wasn't really grandstanding in those older videos.
Like, I know I fucked up, but like, iDubbz really, out of everyone to call me out, this guy calls me out.
Well, you have some pretty horrible comprehension because I was hardly calling you out for it. I used it as a point to illustrate that you can be criticized for it. I didn't say that I'm morally superior to you because it seems like he has this disregard for what he can be criticized for.
What would he say?
And I just want to spell it out. Hey, dumbass, you did something stupid in the past. You can be criticized.
Ian is morally grandstanding in his newer videos by making it seem like if Ethan stops having these self-described crash outs, then they can be friends again.
Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out,
Yeah, that's never
I've been
gonna happen.
keeping to myself mostly. I don't have
That bridge hasn't just been burned. It's been thoroughly nuked into goddamn orbit.
many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship.
It's a bit dishonest to present Ethan as the main harasser, but most of the people he's gone after went after him first. I mean, the whole reason why a lot of this drama started in the first place is because he quietly unfollowed Frogan on Twitter after she made a tweet cheering on the events of October 3rd.
Thank you, someone who accurately, oh my god, I see them in the comments all the time. Well this, when I try to tell them this has nothing to do with politics. No, it all started because they had a political disagreement on leftovers. No, that's when it all started. It all started because he hit unfollow on Frogan. They didn't have a falling out. They didn't have an argument. They didn't have a disagreement about anything. He just decided, I don't like her tweets and I don't want to follow her anymore. Ethan literally clicked a button and started the domino effect that led us to where we are right now. That's where it started.
7th. She then made multiple different posts coping about why Ethan unfollowed her, leading to loads of Hassan fans sending harassment. Many of his orbiters would spend the next year taking potshots at him until the infamous TwitchCon panel. I think it's pretty reasonable for him to respond to critics, no matter how small their online following is. But Ian doesn't mention any of that.
And to bring up responding to small critics, I don't know if he's going to bring it up here. When he brought up that guy's Instagram, that rando's Instagram who left a shitty comment telling him to go to hell, when he brought up that guy's Instagram live on stream to see who he was, that's not doxing. That's not shitty either. That's the risk you take when you interact with a big creator publicly, especially one who records his podcast live, is that he may decide to look you up. All of your shit's public, so him showing it to people isn't showing them anything private. That's not doxing. I'm sorry, you left a comment publicly, and then he showed that comment to the public, which it was already public, and then showed them a profile that it was attached to, which was already public. Hey, if you can't handle a big creator looking into you if you say something that they don't like and they decide that they're going to find out who the fuck is talking shit about them, maybe use an alt account, or at least private all your shit first. I got no sympathy for that dude whatsoever.
He just describes it as Ethan and Hila behaving poorly, not mentioning the unhinged behavior.
And before you bring up the fact that, well, they were harassing his 16-year-old sister and blah, blah, you know what? That's also on him. I have sympathy for his sister that her brother got her into this shit, but that's still not on Ethan.
Of his detractors.
You guys are just hurt and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting people.
Ian also shames Ethan and Hila for treating their podcast like an emotional dumping ground, implying they should simply do fun and lighthearted streams.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
So I guess we should look at his podcast on how to properly run a podcast. One, we should listen to podcast advice from the guy whose podcast barely breaks 1,000 views over the guy whose podcast frequently gets tens of thousands. But also, you know, we should just watch his podcast. If we need the blueprint for what podcasts are supposed to be and how they're supposed to be done, how they're supposed to, well, his podcast is dumb, but how they're supposed to be done, let's look at iDubbz and Anissa's podcast. So what's their podcast about? Oh, that's right. It's mostly his wife shitting on him, And then in between getting shit on by your own wife on your podcast, you then start using it as cope streams and your emotional dumping ground.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted, and I feel defensive, and I feel like
I still don't understand what the attack on you was, though. Like, he didn't make a video about you. He just called you out for being silent and said it's fucked up. Like, is that an attack? I don't believe that was an attack. I don't think that constitutes an attack. I'm still not sure what the original attack was you claim you're going in self-defense mode for.
speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
Gotta love how Ian is justifying his attack on Ethan, but when Ethan does it to his critics, it's harassment. Also, Ian is the last person to criticize something for being an emotional dumping ground, because that's his entire podcast in a nutshell.
Yeah, there we go.
This show was always intended to be pseudotherapy for Ian and Anissa, something that's made very apparent.
It's literally in the title of the fucking podcast.
The first episode.
Sometimes in like my normal videos, I'm like, people don't want to fucking hear me talk. They just want to hear me, or they do, but it's like background noise, or they want to see a premise of a video or whatever. And not having that and just being like, all right, I'll dump, I think is like that's like a satisfying thing for me. It's like a way to categorize.
You're using your audience as therapy. The level of projection from these people, like you can look at you can pull any random clip of something that iDubbbz has accused Ethan of, and it very plainly applies to him. It's all projection.
So it's okay when Ian has his emotional dumping ground, but not Ethan because he does it with internet drama, despite the fact that Ian also engages in internet drama on his podcast. Now towards the end of the Content Cop, Ian interviews Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, someone he's had before on his podcast. Kirk has a series where he ranks YouTuber apology videos, and he's ranked Ethan's apology to QT Cinderella very highly. Ethan has made this a running gag, though Ian interprets this as something Ethan is very prideful of. So, in an attempt to take him down a peg, Ian tries to get Kirk to change the grade.
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment.
Don't get me started on how fucking petty that shit is. That's like, you don't like that, like, someone made a better grade than you in class, so you go after school to talk to the teacher and try to convince the teacher he cheated or he did something wrong or he was technically wrong on something to get him to reduce the grade for some reason, just so you can be a little bit higher. It's so fucking childish and petty. And the worst part is, like, he makes it so apparent when he's like, I didn't want him to change it to something bad, like maybe a B-. Oh, that's because iDubbbz's apology got rated a B. So you're fine as long as it's rated just slightly below yours. Like, oh God, it's so stupid.
During this video, like, could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying. And, we might learn a thing or two.
Oh yeah, this will definitely make Ethan stop going after people who've been lying about him being a neglectful parent. The funny part about all this is that Kirk didn't even change his grade, which completely ruins the ending of the video.
Okay, iDubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it. I can understand where it's coming from. And I guess have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior.
Yeah, he's looking at the apology by itself in a bubble and giving it a grade, which is fair. It's an analysis of the art of apologizing itself and not specifically the content of the person's character or even what the apology is about. It's fair. I respect it.
You're wanting...
And I respect his, standing firm and holding by it.
to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior. From the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person, and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize, and I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade. But
Oh, boo-hoo. Jesus Christ, you're so fucking petty, dude.
that's okay, because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology rating system. So I'm going to rate.
So I'll make up my own grade. I don't show you. God damn, this is so fucking childish, dude. This is the most ridiculous moment.
Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based on my own feelings and my own rubric.
This was supposed to be the big wake-up call for Ethan to get him to stop engaging with his critics, and Ian chose to still leave this in the video despite being such a massive L for him. During the outro, he also shows a clip of him crying about the hate he's gotten online, which was meant to make him look empathetic, but instead makes him look like a loser.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and
Yeah, like a baby. Like just this overly sensitive prick. The kind of guy who can dish it out and can't take it, which is accurate. That's exactly what's happening. This motherfucker can't take any criticism whatsoever.
Neil. Like, fuck, like, it's really hard to be, a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like, if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
Boo-hoo!
Thank
One
you.
gets shit for being a hot-headed e-whore who constantly says stupid shit online for attention. The chick who called Lacey...
Yeah, maybe go after your wife and tell her to shut the fuck up. Maybe make it a household rule that you have to proofread her tweets before she makes them. Fuck, get your wife in check, man. Put your big boy pants on and take control of your fucking relationship.
Green a cunt. Tried justifying human experiments conducted by Nazis. Made fun of Venus Angelic for being anorexic. Spurged out on Rusty Cage in public. And shamed Zoe Berger for doing sex work until it became profitable enough for her to do it herself. Yeah, I feel real bad that people are making fun of her. That's totally way worse than CPS being called in your house. Ian, stop pretending like you care about...
It's not that it's worse. Their community will try to tell you it justifies it.
Ethan's mental health.
It doesn't.
When you say shit
Just so we're clear, it doesn't.
about how he needs an ass whooping.
When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
But then, Ian remembers that he gained empathy at the ripe old age of 32.
I think only in these past couple of years.
It's not how empathy's worked. It's not a learned skill. Feelings aren't things you learn. They're things you have. Either you have empathy or you don't. And if you don't, you're probably a sociopath. Wonder which one he falls under.
Have I gained the ability empathy? And I'm very ashamed to admit that. It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired empathy, but I have, and I've realized it because I just like can't help myself but like feel for other people's pain and suffering now.
So then,
if that were true, you wouldn't do half the shit you've done, which I'm sure is what Rob's about to say. Sorry, I paused Andy.
To not look like a massive hypocrite, he has to once again appeal to Ethan's emotions.
I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have been, and probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid.
Yeah, if I justify all the bad things I'm doing first and then do them, then this Content Cop will be better than the other ones and it'll be fine. That's the logic being used here. Nothing justifies the level of harassment that he's got, dude. You guys are literally, and they do it because it's profitable. They're literally profiting off of the harassment of another person. Because the more videos the more videos they have where they talk about Ethan and they go viral, the deeper into this drama and the more that they fucking poke this hornet's nest, the more views they get. The more views they get, the more money they get, the more popular they become. They've suffered no real world consequence for these actions. They get to log off at the end of the day and go back to their lives and enjoy their money, and it's all just content for them. Ethan doesn't get to do that. He just has to deal with it because he doesn't get the ability to log off. What happened the last time he logged off? Oh, Human Skull showed up at his house. Oh, CPS showed up at his house. Oh, he's getting calls from psychiatrists and stuff because they're trying to have him committed. Like, there is no escape for him. It is literally driving him crazy because you call them crash out streams, and it sounds to me like they're just streams of a guy trying to shine light on it so that someone will come to his aid. These are cries for help, as far as I can tell. That he's just like, will somebody fucking do something? He can't get H3 Snark banned. Twitch won't ban any of these creators. They'll just let them do it uncritically, like uncontested. Yeah, like I mean, what the fuck else is he supposed to do here?
Valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that he's human because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings.
So how does Ian do this? Well, he brings on Ethan's biggest haters, some of whom have justified the harassment against him, to say something they like about him. It's very clearly fake. These people don't want Ethan to get better, since they need him to continue this
Yeah, this is all fun internet drama for him. It's all performative.
To garner more clout for themselves.
Yep.
Hassan never appears in this final segment, as that guy doesn't have anything nice to say about Ethan. Sean the Black didn't know this, letting it slip that he didn't want to appear in it either.
I want you to Hassan watch it. And Hassan doesn't have a nice thing about Ethan. And the chat asked what I'm thinking. I'm like, wait, you didn't do a nice thing about Ethan? And he was like, no. And I'm like, wait, that was an option? I could have just said no. Mr. Charitability over here. Mr. Charitability over here said no to saying a nice thing about Ethan, but I did. Alright. Alright, dude. Alright, dude. I was tricked into being nice.
So Ian, stop pretending like you guys care about Ethan and want him to get better. You don't. You made this video to farm off the H3 Hassan drama, not to reach out as a friend to end it. You did this to make money, since nobody gives a shit about your other videos. That's the one thing I'll give Noah Sampson. He was sort of honest about his intentions of his Ethan hate video.
Most of you have smartphones and cameras and TikTok, so go ahead. Start posting about it. Spread the word. Aside from being a morally good thing to do, it's also becoming sustainable. You know, it's algorithmically viable. The Ethan Klein crash out industrial
At least he was
complex
honest
is
about
booming.
it.
I'm gonna give a bit of a hot...
Even if it was unintentional, he was honest about it. The more we talk about him, the more popular we get. So let's keep this ball rolling. Yeah, that's all they care about.
Take here. This video alone shows more cruelty and hate than any of the old content cops. Yes, even the Tana one, where he showed up to her event and said the gamer word. Because at least Tana learned from the situation to become a slightly better person.
I kind of think I like deserved that. And maybe that's like dark, like to say, but like I don't feel like I'm owed an apology. And maybe that's because I've accepted it so much that like people always ask me, if you could go back in time and like make that never happen, like would you? And I always say no. I think I would be a completely different person if I didn't have that. I think it like
Oh, it's like some people need to be taught a lesson and then they learn from it and become better people. This is what that actually looks like. And it's ironic that this is the thing you regret doing, but you're fine with the things you're currently doing. Somehow, Tana has gotten the moral high ground over you. If you'd have told me that shit back in 2016, I'd have thought you were crazy. But here we are.
was on track to just be so on my high horse and like egotistical and like nothing could go wrong, that something going wrong gave me such a dose of reality that like this might not last forever. Like,
yeah,
you need to be held accountable for actions. I don't know, like it made me do so much necessary growth, and I think it also changed the entire trajectory of my career and life. Like I don't even think canceled would be here if like I didn't get canceled a bunch and that was kind of the start of that, to like shape that brand.
Do you really think this video is a good wake-up call for Ethan? No. All you did is rightfully piss him off, since you brought together his biggest haters, and Sean the Black, to Fortnite dance and concern troll about how they want him to stop having crash outs. And what's even more cruel is cutting out loads of context to make it seem like he's having unjust crash outs, presenting him as unhinged and mentally ill. Ian removes so much context to the point that it's malicious. I'm not going to give Ian the benefit of the doubt here, because he clearly knew how deceptive this would come across. Now, I'm not going to be going over every single instance of context being removed, though if you want that, I recommend watching Ethan's live reaction to it. But here I want to focus on the egregious examples. First is Ian's coverage of the Froggy Tonic drama. He does show some of Froggy's tweets and refers to them as mean, but take note of what tweets he fails to include.
Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point, discovers that iDubbbz former editor says...
Yeah, the way he downplays all of the shit that he was having to put up with too, though. Oh, you think he killed his dog with cheddar cheese or some shit. Yeah, like none of his harassment's real. It's just, he's just overreacting to everything. So that warrants this video.
This horrendous shit about him and Hila.
Other shit does a lot of heavy lifting here, as
yes.
What Ian didn't show was the tweets where Froggy implies Ethan is a neglectful parent. He does admit that the tweets go a bit too far, but tries to take the blame off himself by saying he never saw and supported them.
For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not gonna throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not gonna throw...
Isn't that what you're doing to Ethan right now? Just throwing him away?
Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
But that's exactly what you're doing.
You are throwing him away.
Yeah.
The video demonstrates that. And you literally admitted 2 minutes prior that you are seeing his tweets. You proved his own point.
There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna endorse it, I'm not gonna retweet it or like it, but fair enough.
And as mentioned earlier, Anissa was interacting with him at the exact same time period. Ian does not bring that up, and instead downplays it as Ethan simply being mad because Ian follows someone on Twitter.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend, and I'm a piece of shit, I'm spineless, I'm cowardly, because I am following someone on Twitter.
I'm not upset, Ian, because you follow people. That is absurd. I'm mad because you are actively engaging with these people on social media, in DMs, while this harassment is happening, seemingly indifferent to it, silent on it. In a sense, I felt like you were more on their side than my side.
Ian
and
also
you were
never
right.
mentions the main reason why Ethan is mad at Denims, which is the CPS situation. He conflates that Ethan is mad simply because Ian follows her on Twitter.
So yes, you caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
Oh man, content cops are as funny as ever. They be following. Fucking Christ.
Ian does not once mention the CPS call, which is such a huge part of the story. In fact, the main podcast episode he takes clips from is titled, Snark Called Child Protective Services on Us. Ian never explains the CPS stuff, and instead vaguely references the Giardia rumors.
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have Giardia.
So he doesn't respect CPS because they would give a fuck about that.
Whatever the prompt is.
Which was the point.
No one would care. The only person who would care is me because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting.
No, he's Hassan's lapdog now. Just surgically fucking planting those lips on Hassan's anus.
It out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck. It's not my business.
Again, Ian technically didn't have to mention the situation or make a tweet about it, but if he did, it would show off his new sense of self. the empathetic, changed man he described himself as during his apology video. Being this hostile to simply saying, hey, his kids don't eat shit, goes to prove that he has not changed for the better. Instead of staying quiet, he had to make such a big fuss and keep the drama going. Ian also brings up Ethan's hatred of Matt Lieb, a producer for Good Mythical Morning. It's in this segment where he's pointing out who's following who, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but he doesn't at all mention why Ethan dislikes Matt.
Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although he's sniffing around.
This guy Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, or in a video game. And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope
which he did later do in a video game.
He is fired. He's pathetic, and he interviewed basically a terrorist.
It's only briefly alluded to there, but Ethan has criticized Matt for not only supporting, but platforming Bad Empanada, who not only spread the rumor that led to the CPS call, but joked about being the one to do it himself. Ian never mentions Bad Empanada in this entire video, despite his crucial role in all this drama. Not only has Matt been platforming him, but so has Hassan and his many orbiters. Bad Empanada is a psychotic, unhinged man who spends his time slandering YouTubers, sparking harassment campaigns, and doxing his critics. This is the guy that pretty much referred to AB as a house slave because he works with Ethan. Ian obviously never mentions him because defending this guy would be a terrible look. Another thing Ian...
Yeah, so you don't mention the CPS because defending that would be a terrible look, and you also don't mention Bad Empanada because defending him also terrible look. Yeah, just avoid it, and there you go. You don't have to address it at all. No responsibility.
The context from was Ethan's discussion of Hassan masking his true political identity from normies. Now I do think Ian has a point that Ethan should have looked deeper into what Hassan's beliefs are. It wasn't fully a secret.
Like this guy made
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, there's plenty of ways that Hassan could have said, oh, I'll just do that for the stream and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Like, even if you look into it, he can just deny it. And you want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt because you believe he's on your side and you believe that your politics are aligned. And for the most part, they were. Don't forget, they agreed on like 90% of all the things they talked about. It was the one disagreement, which the commenters will love to leave in my comments about how they had one disagreement, and that disagreement was, I don't think Israel should, I think Israel has a right to exist. That's it. And one disagreement. It's ridiculous. So no, I don't think that, like, even if he looked into him, it would have made a difference, because it's not like I don't think Ethan didn't see those clips. Like, those clips are viral. I'm pretty sure that if he wasn't shown them, then like someone on his staff showed them to him. Like, somebody saw them. Like, it's pretty obvious. So I don't think it matters, because Hassan was just going to downplay the fuck out of it. He's going to hide his true power level, and then he's going to go Super Saiyan as soon as he's on camera, which is what happened.
A fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were.
I mean, then you should have that same criticism of every major news outlet that Hassan has been on, because every time he's put onto a mainstream media outlet like Fox News or something, or, you know, CNN or whatever, you know, thing he's been on, they always just like downplay what he is as just a leftist. The only one he was honest on was Piers Morgan, where he calls himself a propagandist, and even then Piers Morgan didn't believe him live on air. Like, no, you're not. Yeah, so like when you say you're something that bad, people just don't want to believe it. Like, how could somebody who's this bad be this popular? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until,
But at the same time, he fails to include a damning clip where Hassan mentions hiding his power level to radicalize people.
One thing you have to do is...
Which is exactly what he did.
Is advocate for a lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, you know, social democratic idea.
I just wanted to, like, put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel, where, for example, Hassan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say, and then they start looking into this new idea, etc., and then move forwards through the funnel, get more and more informed, get more and more radicalized. You do your part in the funnel for the cause, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're doing, in my modest opinion, a great thing for the cause.
Now listen to Hassan during our very first conversation lie to me about how he's a social democrat to hide his power level.
We should move towards a Sweden-style economy or a Norway-style economy, which would be a social democracy.
You have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda.
With robust social safety nets.
Cold radicalization funnel, catch them while they're young, as they say.
And protections for workers, like higher unionization.
Which, by the way, Rob's Media, great editing there. The way you're playing it out like it's a movie flashback. It's great.
Right. A lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond social democratic ideas.
Even if you agree with Ian's point, showing that clip would explain Ethan's argument much better. Lastly, I want to mention the Arab to Jew tier list at TwitchCon 2024. He does not once bring up Ethan's main criticism of this panel, and instead focuses on the use of the word Habibi.
There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
List them, and we're gonna need your
Cool. Let's do a Who Can Say the N-Word panel. It'll be lighthearted and fun. You know, we'll have white people at the top, and then we'll have like Loves Chicken at the bottom, and then we'll kind of tier it that way. It'll be lighthearted and fun, guys.
your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. You know, like you got like a white guy who's like, can I say it? Is it a slur? And then Love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list.
So that would make it a racial tier list then, right? So you get it.
Granted, Habibi is very different than the N-word, but it is a cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people, and
calling Ethan a Zionist is lighthearted and fun, guys. Yeah, it is. Like he even says like he gets it. He even says that he knows it applies to race. He compares it to saying the N-word. The same thing I just did to prove it's racist is what he's doing to prove it's not. Like the fucking mental gymnastics is wild.
Muslim people, like that is a.
And then he's giving the textbook translation and definition of it. Oh, cool. So what was the original use of the N-word? Let's go back. What did it mean, like bundle of sticks or some shit? Yeah, let me look that up, and then that'll give me permission to say that. Shut the fuck up, man.
The word that's used.
Ethan does not have a problem at all with the use of the term Habibi. His problem is with the use of the term Love Sabra. Ian fails to dive into that, and instead makes a hypocrisy argument about a tier list Ethan did about white slurs. That was a ranking of the words themselves, not if a person fits into each tier. Ethan's problem with Love Sabra has nothing to do with the brand of hummus itself, but Ian never shows his argument.
If you're not Arab or understand Arab culture at all, which is a lot of Americans, and Ethan Klein...
That sounded racist in and of itself there, iDubbbz. What are you trying to say, all Americans are stupid and uncultured?
Presents you this tier list and calls it anti-Semitic, you're just going to eat it up. It's not. Ethan is just proving his location on this tier list under Love Sabra because he doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of Arabs who eat Sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store.
I had some hummus today. We actually went to a thing at my kid's school today. They had like this thing where all the continents of the world, like all the countries of the world, and each classroom in their school was supposed to be a different country, and they had foods and stuff from there. And that's why I hate that politics gets inserted into this stuff, because it really, like, just because someone's from a place doesn't mean that they even agree with the politics of that place. Like, that would be like assuming that every American citizen in the South is a Trump supporter and a Republican, and every American citizen in Washington on the West Coast is gonna be liberal, and obviously not true. So assuming that everybody from another country is whatever isn't going to be true either. But we went into the Middle Eastern room where they had all the food from the Middle East, and they had people there. And there was a Palestinian guy, and he gave me some Palestinian cookies and some flatbread with some hummus on it. And he had the Sabra hummus there. Yeah, like he had all this Palestinian food. It's pretty good stuff. Not a super big fan of hummus, but it wasn't bad. First time ever having hummus. But turns out my kids are friends with his kids. What am I supposed to do to make small talk with this guy? Am I supposed to bring up the Israel-Palestine conflict with a Palestinian man? No. Why would I inject politics into this relationship at all? It's obviously working out. I don't know what his reason for coming into America was, but I'm glad he's here. Our kids are friends. They seem to like his kids, and they're probably safer here than they were where he came from, given the state of those two countries. So maybe he left because he didn't agree with their politics. Maybe he didn't. Either way, it's none of my business. It's not affecting this relationship at all. What do I need to inject it for? We had a pleasant conversation. He seems like a good guy, and our kids are friends. So cool. Great. That's all it needed to be. These people can't help but inject politics into fucking everything. They'll come in my comments, call me a Zionist. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what the fuck a Zionist is. I'm pretty sure I ain't one. Never been called one before in my life, so I'm pretty sure I don't fit the bill. Then they'll come in screaming free Palestine on a video that's not about Palestine. We're talking about the CPS drama, or we're talking about something else. Yeah, any video I have on this topic between these creators or anyone adjacent to them, those people flood your fucking comment section, just parroting whatever they heard on Hassam's stream, knowing damn well that 90% of them are white and can't point at Palestine on a map with a gun to their head. It's so fucking stupid, dude.
And I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat it, but it is not the good shit.
So the premise is who can say...
So what's the good shit? I mean, I had the Sabra hummus. Like I said, it wasn't bad, but what's the good shit then? Is he going to recommend a good brand? I mean, I'll try a different brand of hummus. You know, I'll take him at his word and give it a shot.
Habibi, an Arabic word of affection like baby or sweetheart. And this tier list determines who can say it. Top and most desirable tier is Arab. And at the bottom, the worst one is, quote, loves Sabra. Now, why does Love Sabra equate to Jews? Sabra is a well-known Israeli company that makes hummus. They've been on the divestment list for many, many years, so the activists are well aware of their status. Oh yeah, and Sabra literally means a Jew that was born in Israel.
Ethan is explaining why he thinks Love Sabra is a dog whistle for a Jewish person, specifically one who loves Israelis. This is clearly what they meant by that, as the thumbnail for the YouTube upload of the panel features both Ethan and Ben Shapiro in the bottom tier. What do they have in common? Both have wives born in Israel, and Ben is never mentioned at all in this panel. That was deliberately done to market the tier list. And if you actually watch the panel, which most have not, Frogan and her pals treat the tiers undesirable to be in, using it to pull pranks on their friends.
Do someone in the audience.
Yeah, don't they even make a Zionist joke at one point and be like, well, we already got a section for Zionists. It's Love Sabra. Yeah.
Mike.
Me personally, I'm putting him in Love Sabra. Yeah.
Love Sabra.
Love Sabra. Love Sabra.
Yeah. Love Sabra. Everyone clap for Love Sabra, please. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike loves Sabra. I would put it down there.
Sit down.
Sit down. This isn't an interactive show. What are you doing?
Security,
please.
Security.
We're putting you in Love Sabra. Must suck, huh, Mike? I mean, they boo Ethan as they place him in that tier.
The next person is one of my favorite
Yeah, it's so incredibly obvious what's happening here.
people. Ethan Klein.
And don't forget, this is at an official Twitch event. Do you honestly expect me to believe that Twitch allows their creators to go up on stage, broadcasting, representing their company, without knowing what they're going to do before they get on that stage? Without approving everything that they have planned to talk about up there, that they just let them go up there unfucking chained? No, somebody ran this by Twitch staff, and they okayed it.
I told you guys to clap.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one. That's good. All right.
Turn that up. Turn giraffes.
We all know where this is going. Okay. I like how we're getting audience input. They're like, you know, fuck what you guys had to say.
Dude, where's the? You guys are missing a category for Zionist. That was a joke. That was just a joke in my.
Stand up. Well, obviously it's Love Sabra, right?
Yeah.
It has to be.
That's easy. That's
Definitely Love Sabra.
This is a dog whistle, but these dumb fucks are massive pussies and won't ever admit that. I mean, these are the same people that constantly call others Nazis over the smallest of things. But they have an issue when you point out this panel, that Ian's holding a swastika sword. Ian removing all this context is not only malicious, it's cowardly. He's a coward for not being able to showcase Ethan's full arguments without cutting corners. This is not something an honest and empathetic person would do. It's behavior you would have called out in your old content cops. Hassan and his groupies know this is dishonest. There is no bad tactics with them, only bad targets.
Yep. Crumbing down.
Now this content cop has already had negative repercussions on Ian and Anissa, specifically in regards to Creator Clash 3. Harley, who have been publicly defending the pair for years, seemed to deem this as the final straw. He clearly does not like Hassan's community, making various tweets critical of them. This caught the attention of Bana Panada, who began spamming tweets his way. Soon after, Harley announced that he wouldn't be boxing.
Okay, so it does have the Harley thing on there.
Lena Ayad, the wife of AB from the H3 podcast, had it much worse. She was completely unaware that the content cop was being made, and had a panic attack due to all the stress.
By the way, iDubbbz, Lena's fucking having a panic attack because why would you do this and not even tell her? Like, why would you invite someone on the show and do this? It's just fucking mean-spirited.
Yep.
I'm genuinely in disbelief. Why would you do this to Lena, of all people? Like, what the fuck is she supposed to do? She's been training. You couldn't at least wait till after Creator Clash? You didn't even think to give her a heads up? AB fought in 2 of your things, man. Don't you feel like some obligation to them?
Ian did just message me. He said, I'm sorry to put you in the position.
Wow, what a fucking nice guy. Just message you now.
He said he dragged me when I was already unhappy with what was going on. I didn't appreciate that, especially since he refused to get on the phone with me.
What?
It was meant to go live before the show, but I was having technical difficulties. Again, I'm sorry you're caught in the middle. And I know you tried to de-escalate, but it's clear Ethan isn't interested in de-escalating.
De-escalate? I just said I vented about them not defending me. What the fuck is he like? He's actually losing his shit and I just can't believe it, dude.
I just don't believe Ian wasn't trying to release the content cop while the podcast was live. And Ethan also brings up a good point. Why didn't Ian just wait to release the video?
Oh yeah, that was definitely intentional. He waited until they were live to release it so he could see their reaction in real time. He was probably jerking off while he watched it.
The drama would have still been relevant by late June, since Ethan planned on releasing a sequel to his content nuke by then. This just felt like a hasty decision made without the forethought of consequences on other people.
No, it's pressure from Hassan and crew to do it then. That is what I believe led to him doing it, because I don't think that iDubbbz wouldn't wait if he wasn't pressured, but he desperately wanted into this friend group, and they're like, no, you got to do it now. You got to do it now. They didn't want to wait. That is exactly what happened.
Put Lena in an awkward situation where she could have possibly got booed at the event. It was just a terrible environment to be in, leading to Lena leaving the event as well.
It's been a lot, and Lena's just sort of been thrown in the middle. She was kind of put in a really shitty situation, and boxing is a very serious thing, and you need your full concentration. And it was getting to a point that she was just caught in the middle of stuff, and I was afraid, and she was distracted at practice, and there's a lot to it.
Now, I want to make it clear, I personally think the way it played out is that she got booted. That's just my opinion, because basically when they dropped this content cop, they're like, oh my god, this affects Lena? How is that possible? What? They're like, what? You don't want to post and promote the fight now that we've declared like a holy war on your whole on your boss's entire fucking community? It's not just me. I mean, the community members were not fans of that video.
So now, Creator Clash 3 is scrambling to find new fighters, with Tectone and Ice Poseidon claiming they've been contacted to fight. Both declined, though it's unknown how true their statements are. Ian would end up releasing a content deputy that I briefly want to go over. He barely addresses any of the criticisms of the original video, and instead justifies his exclusion of the CPS call.
You were triggered by this CPS harassment thing, and then you immediately equated Anissa and I to it. That was sloppy, and that was horrendous, and it was horrendous for us. I wonder why I wouldn't mention the CPS call. Could it be that the CPS call happened the same day that you were shit-talking me, and I didn't have any chance to defend myself? You just immediately, in the same podcast, right next to each other, said, CPS call was very traumatic. And then you said, fuck Ian and Anissa. And you linked those together, you kind of layered those flavors, and then Anissa and I got a bunch of harassment. We had nothing to do with the CPS call.
Ethan never said...
Wait, how does any of that mean you can't mention it, though? Like, you mentioned everything around it. Okay. That made no sense.
You had anything to do with the CPS call. His criticism is that you didn't have the balls to stick up for him, and you're friends with people that do have something to do with it. Both iDubbbz and Froggy are spreading a narrative that Ethan is neglecting his kids. He was already pissed at you beforehand. The CPS call just caused him to be even more angry at you. And to defend his friends, Ian tries to justify the CPS call. He shows clips of Ethan telling the Giardia story, without mentioning that none of Ethan's kids had it to begin with.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his children getting Giardia from dog poop.
Sonny's crawling around, he's putting everything in his mouth, he's at that age, he has Giardia.
People are quite reasonably concerned. And so, yes, anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough to call CPS, including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a measly number. It's about 26,000 at the time of this stream.
Ian, these are clearly joke comments. Also, the stream he's showing came out in mid-February, while the CPS call didn't happen until early March. Fans were not the ones to call CPS, because if they did, it shouldn't have taken 2 weeks for them to come to Ethan's house. It clearly happened due to the false narrative iDubbbz and others are spreading, because their post came out around early March, only a few days before the call. And what pisses me off even more is that Ian tries to push responsibility away from iDubbbz.
It's just so bizarre that Ethan would expect Anissa and I to make a statement when iDubbbz herself already made a statement about it and said that she does not condone calling CPS.
So we're talking about CPS. One, I don't...
Yeah, but that was after it had already been called. The problem isn't that she didn't condone it. It's that she didn't contest it or say not to do it. It's that she didn't condemn it before it happened. It's that she didn't contest bad empanada. She watched that video, watched her chat, start saying, and even if they only said it, because I know the big argument there is, well, that was only 5 minutes of a 5-hour stream, and it was only like 2% of chatters. Even if it was 1% of chatters, I'm going to pull the Batman v Superman thing here. Even if it's a 1% chance, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. Because even if it's 1%, it was enough people in chat during a short time span chanting the same thing that it should have been a red flag for you as a creator. And the fact that you saw that flying by in your chat for 5 full minutes and didn't say anything is the problem. You didn't tell them to do it, but you didn't tell them not to. You smiled, kind of wink and nod, and waited for them to do it. And then they did. So, and I think any judge, if he were to take it to court, would see it the same way. It's pretty fucking obvious.
I don't condone. Two, I've never condoned it, and you will not be able to find a clip of me saying, yes, we should do this, because it doesn't exist. I've literally given Ethan Klein credit on multiple times, or multiple instances, and I will do it again right now, for not showing photos of his kids.
Who cares if she condemns it or not? She still uncritically watched a video that spread lies about Ethan and hid the evidence once getting called out. Imagine if I watched a video about iDubbbz getting called a pedophile with no evidence, and didn't push back against it once. Then, when her life is ruined before she's proven to be innocent, I disavow people calling her a pedo. It doesn't change shit. The rest of Ian's video is just him downplaying the CPS call and shifting focus to Frogan. And I'm sure she's kind of been harassed, but a lot of that extends to fat jokes comparing her to Jabba the Hutt. Completely different from people messing with your kids. Ian never mentions the other criticisms his video got. He doesn't show the more damning Froggy Tonic tweets, he fails to mention who Bad Empanada is, he doesn't fully address the Arab to Jew tier list. It's just shit. Just as bad as the first part. Ian also mentions Ethan's comments about Creator Clash, trying super hard to pin the event's failure on him. He obviously can't fully do that, since that would be bad faith.
Don't worry, Ela. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know you're terrified of taking it.
But the internet might. Yeah, it's the online equivalent of, it's a mighty fine house you got there. Be shame if something were to happen to it.
Accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders. But I can't speak for the internet. The
There it
internet
is.
might actually blame you guys for it. Now, with
He started to take responsibility for a second there. He should have stopped at that, but then immediately shifts blame and tells the internet, dog whistle to the internet, wink, wink, nod, nod. You guys go do what you do.
this recent revelation that people are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anissa and I, Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous two events. They're very capable. They know.
How lazy is that fucking editing? What was that fucking Microsoft clip art? Clippy pop up in his little paper clip and recommend that for you? What the fuck happened to you, man?
Exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis. The event is still happening. Anissa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership. We are, you know, I think just going to be known as the founders of the event. Yeah, I mean, I think it had to come to this eventually. I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't, I mean, I can. I just didn't want to.
There you
I
go.
want to be frank. I want to be honest.
And how did that work out for you, Ian? You sunk your whole event because of petty drama that involved some of the fighters. All of H3's shots at Creator Clash were specifically about Ian and Anissa's management of it. He also pro-clutches over the fact that Ethan showed a tweet from someone who's an MDE fan.
He's reposting random troll accounts that are very easy to vet. If you click on this profile, it has a bunch of Sam Hyde adjacent posts, and it just hates Anissa and I. Come on, dude, you're one step away from calling me a cuck. Just take the plunge.
Oh, and that reminds me, Ethan actually brought up Sam during his reaction to Ian.
You know what's funny? I genuinely think that Sam Hyde broke Ian.
He did.
And when he told me, he was like, he came and he
That was
like,
such a
"I'm
bizarre
doing-"
chapter.
He says, I'm doing a documentary on Sam Hyde. I told him, and Anissa was here. I said, that's a huge mistake. Do not do it. You guys, I don't know who, I said, do not do it. Like, trust me. Because Sam's the type of guy who's going to get the best of you, really, no matter what. And it turns out he did. And he's even crazier than Ian anticipated.
Right.
He absolutely, you know, I think it just broke him.
Now let's be real here.
I'll agree.
Sam fighting is the only way Creator Clash 3 is going to succeed at this point.
You know that, Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you! In Los Angeles, at your house!
Or in the ring.
No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him. And wear his makeup, and his dresses, and use his skin as a coat, like the ancient Irish did.
But Hassan won't fight anyone, as he gets combative whenever the subject is mentioned.
So whack, bro. Like, I don't understand why all you motherfuckers have to, like, run around with this shit.
What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. You fucking asshole. Yeah, what do you mean, damn, bro? What the fuck do you mean, damn? What do you mean, damn?
Now that Ian has left, people have compared this event to the captain of the
God, he's so scared. Jesus. That's how quickly he snapped at that dumb shit.
Titanic abandoning ship while it's sinking. A more apt comparison would be Francesco Scattini, the captain of the Costa Concordia.
Coordinating, what are you coordinating? Get on board the ship and coordinate the rescue. Are you refusing?
Freddie Wong, one of this year's fighters,
Okay.
made a long-ass message on the Creator Clash Discord, where he sneak disses Ian from joining the event in pointless drama. He also mentions that Ian has not been in regular communication with fighters, despite him and Anissa claiming so for years. This completely contradicts what Ian said in his video.
We've already told all the fighters, and it seems like most people understand that this is the best move. If the previous content cop was entertaining to you, or this video is entertaining, or you like the message, the best
It's not.
thing that you can do for me
I mean, the Rob's Media video I'm watching is not your video.
is to support Creator Clash.
I've always known this, but Ian and Anissa rarely check up on the fighters. They've only pretended to for PR. I also want to mention this Reddit post from what seems to be Froggy Fresh's wife, who claims Anissa is an awkward bitch, and shames other women who do sex work outside of OnlyFans. I'm not surprised about that one bit, because of her old drama with Zoe Berger. If you still like Ian and Anissa, I don't know what to tell you. These people are rotten. They have no consistent morals. They just make impulsive decisions with no regard for those around them. Ian will morally grandstand about how Froggy Fresh and Sam Hyde deserve to get banned for their edgy remarks. yet doesn't even have the balls to disavow his friend, Froggy Tonic, over statements that are far worse and have actually caused real-world damage. And Ian never stopped being edgy. He just switched sides. He politically realigned. He'll shame his past self.
He's going for safe edgy now. The passive-aggressive form of edgy. He's a Karen, basically. It's the worst kind of edgy. I'll say the bad thing, but I still need to be the good guy when I say it. So say it without saying it. Ugh. Concern trolling is his new edgy.
And other people for using slurs, but now hangs out with people who make death threats on a regular basis. At least back then, Ian was blatantly an asshole.
Straight off the bat, I want to let all the newcomers to my channel know that I'm perfectly fine with bullying. Make fun of someone because they're fat, autistic, or riddled with acne, I don't care. Make fun of them. I think my only stipulation with the bullying is that you also have to not be a pussy.
But now he acts like an asshole,
Wah,
pretending to be
wah.
someone who has learned empathy. You just can't trust someone like that. It makes him a snake. These new friends of his will eventually betray him, and I won't feel bad for him in the slightest. He's reaped what he sowed, and is now having to pay the consequences. Was this all inevitable? Maybe. All I do know is that he never should have put on that medallion.
I feel pretty confident in doing a money shot with this one. Don't make me fucking regret this decision, Annalise. Money shot? Alright, pretty good. What the hell, is this a fucking cookie? Dear Mr. iDubbz, thank you for making such funny, entertaining videos. I know that I really enjoy them a lot. Ah, that's fucking sweet. In the package, I included a Sonichu medallion that I made. I wore it to a convention.
I told you guys that medallion was fucking cursed. That's what really did it. It wasn't Anissa. It wasn't her. This is the curse of the medallion. Soon as he got that, his downfall started. Don't underestimate the power of the Sonichu medallion.
Where I cosplayed as Chris Chan. Do you know much of Chris Chan? Yeah, I know a little bit about Chris Chan.
Anyways, I'll be at Critter Clash 3 to watch it fall apart. I'll get a photo with Denims and spout, "Say Sabra."
Jesus Christ. Well, good video by Rob's Media. Does a good job of catching you up to everything. But the problem is, like, this shit just keeps coming. Like, I feel bad for Ethan because this video was posted 2 weeks ago, and so much shit has happened in the last 2 weeks that this video already feels so incredibly dated. Creator Clash has completely fallen apart. Like, they just keep going at one another. Like, I can probably check X right now. Twitter, X, whatever. And there's probably, like, something new about him every time you fucking check. Ah, Billy Mitchell liked my tweet. Senpai noticed me. Okay. Well, let's find out what's going on in the wonderful world of Ethan and Hassan right now. Yep, he's posting classic Anissa meme. Screaming girl saying she's happy. Alright, yeah, so there's iDubbz's response to the fucking, So we'll read this first. So this is iDubbz's response to the Creator Clash thing. This is iDubbz's response to the Creator Clash thing. Ooh, let's reset that. What the fuck is transformation? Ugh. Reset. Alright, there we go. Let's get that up on screen for you guys. Try to make it bigger. Get rid of all the useless X shit. Yeah, I don't do screen captures because I have to do it all from one PC. But anyway, yeah, we'll put it up here. Okay, so I wanted to clear some things up now that Anissa and I are no longer a part of Creator Clash. When I announced Creator Clash 3 and its new business model, the communication wasn't clear. Yeah, no fucking shit, brother. Looking back on my video and the current reaction, it's obvious it was too vague. Extremely vague. I would argue intentionally so. It remains true that I earned a fight purse for Creator Clash 1, along with all the other fighters, and we did not profit at all from Creator Clash 2. It's because it came out in the red. If you had to come out in the green, I believe you would have taken a percentage. After Creator Clash 2 failed, to raise any money for the charity, we knew it was time for a different business model, one where he takes 35% of the profits. We restructured so that the funds for our charity partner would be raised on Tiltify, separate and apart from the event. So now they can't be held responsible. So now he gets to just skim money off the top of the event without cutting into charity. Charity is a separate donation. So buying a ticket to the event doesn't mean you donated anything to charity. The event's just fucking to line his pocket now. We then decided that this year we would take a profit share from the for-profit side of the event should the for-profit side of the event succeed. I feel sorry for any confusion that we have caused. We know the event is in good hands now. So he downplays, so he doesn't mention the profit share, but he downplays the fuck out of it, not saying that he was going to take 35%, which there's people in the comments over here guessing it would be 10 to 15%. No, it's double that. It's fucking double that. All right. But anyway, Ethan responds to it with this one. So we got his response up top here. My, look at the scumbag scuttle. It's always been a ruse to make money. They lied to us. They lied to you. This event was always meant to line their pockets. They're really trying to line their pockets with charity money from kids with cancer. You can't make this shit up, folks. All right, so he's a little wrong on that part because he does clarify that it's from the for-profit side and he's keeping the charity separate from the event this time. But that's only so he can take a bigger cut of the for-profit money. That's only so he can guarantee that it'll make profit and then he could take a bigger cut from it. That's what I believe that was, because now he doesn't have to worry about giving any of that for-profit money to charity. And if he keeps promoting it as a charity boxing event, knowing that most people who go to the website will just buy tickets to the event and never hit the donate button, which means all of that money goes into his pocket and the charity money has to be donated separately. So now it doesn't matter if he skims money from the top of the event, it won't be cutting into the charity money. So he's not taking it from kids with cancer, Ethan. You are wrong there, but he is skimming off the top a much bigger percentage this year than he was going to try for last year, or at least was until until he had to back out of it because he just couldn't get away with it. So that gets us caught up on current Ethan and iDubbbz. Ethan takes... All right, we'll watch this real quick. Ethan throws some shots at iDubbbz on his show today. Let's see what he said. This is probably in response to him finding out how much money they were going to take.
Is this not what cat podcasting is?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Ableism is only when we make fun
So
of
you wanna-
Ethan's... Ableism is everything but making fun of Ethan's Tourette's.
Disabled.
That's it. That's our carve-out.
I am disabled.
That's it. I mean, blame it on AB. No, blame it on Ian, who said he would only forgive me if I was a quadriplegic taking orders in a McDonald's drive-thru.
But Ethan is the example.
I can't believe you said that.
Would have to crash and burn and get hurt in like a very life-changing
You
way.
guys added the demon mode emoji?
Yeah.
I love that. That's my favorite thing. It's so fun.
He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
Dude, he is such a mean-spirited little freak. Like...
I have feelings.
I don't believe you.
I have
I don't believe
feelings.
you have feelings behind those dead eyes.
No.
And I understand you don't like getting pegged, and that's fine. But you need to learn to say no to her.
No.
When she comes in the room at night and she's wearing it again.
No.
Anyway.
No.
What do we shoot? So we got the Joe Rogan. We got.
Okay, so that's it. He's just commenting on his page. Okay, I'll watch this one real quick too. It's because I'm kind of browsing Twitter now. We're going down a rabbit hole for a minute. Hassan explains to a chatter why his view count is particularly low. Oh, let's hear this, Cope.
Why is the view count so low? What's going on? I started early today, and when you start early, it just like cooks.
The fuck does that mean?
I've trained my audience to basically watch me after 11 a.m.
So does no one in your audience have notifications on and wouldn't show up earlier? Do you believe these people wouldn't be awake then? Yeah, just call your audience a bunch of trained monkeys, I guess. This is Cope, dude. People just don't want to watch you.
I started at Instead, I started at 10.
Oh, a whole hour early. You think your people wouldn't show up an hour early is what you're saying?
Implies that it probably doesn't send out notifications to many people. To many people on Twitch.
It does, though. Your Twitch analytics will tell you how many notifications were sent out and what percentage of your audience clicked on them. Why don't you just show that on screen? I get that report on my phone on the app every time I finish streaming. I mean, nobody watches me on Twitch, but still.
Why is the view count so low? What's going on? I started early today, and
Oh, okay. So that's it. He just blames. Like, you could see it in real time that he realized, oh shit, notifications are a thing. The thing I noticed immediately, and he's like, how am I going to downplay that one? And then he just blames it on Twitch. Oh my god, dude. A Frogan tweet? Frogan responds to Asmongold after he called her out for saying she doesn't do politics. Don't try to use your... so Asmongold tweets, don't try to use your hijab as a shield for your disgusting behavior. American soldiers deserve PTSD, Arab/Jew tier list. Yeah. You thinking a tier list about who can use the Arabic word for my love is political is exactly the point I'm making. No, it's racial. It's racist and rooted in politics. It's both. It's rooted in politics. It's both. This woman's a fucking retard. There are rumors that Freddie Wong was going to is about to withdraw from Creator Clash 3. He is no longer pictured on the website. Yeah, he's going to withdraw then. Because the website's not being run by iDubbbz anymore. So the people behind the scenes that are running it now probably already got that information and are going on ahead and planning an announcement. Yep. Calls out Asmongold for bringing hate to Twitch.
What pain has Asmon caused, though, to be honest? What do you mean? He's the largest political content creator, and he has created a dangerous environment for trans people, for people of every...
How? Also, he hates that so much. You can hear it in his voice when he says that he's the biggest political creator on Twitch. He wants that title so bad. He can't stand that this rat fuck who's missing teeth and lives in squalor is beating him to it. Oh, my God. It's funny to watch him squirm about it, though.
Very different kind of background. He actively is promoting the Trump administration and bringing it here to a private space like Twitch. And
what? Twitch isn't a private space. It's a public fucking platform. Like, anybody can make an account. Okay, so say the quiet part out loud. You want Twitch to be a leftist bubble. And you're trying to use your influence to make it so. And for the most part, you have. It is a vast majority of them are leftists. And it's... Asmongold is only... He kind of got grandfathered in. I think he's too big to ban.
Normalizing that kind of discourse, normalizing that kind of sentiment, in the same exact ways that I have normalized, I guess, progressive values. Except my normalization of progressive values does not actually end up causing harm to others. You know what I mean?
What?
Unless you are a fuck...
Wait, what? You platform terrorists. Didn't a guy shoot up a place and scream Free Palestine? I cannot wait till they search that guy's fucking computer and hard drives and find out that he has a history of watching your streams. Oh my God. What would the cope be for that? That if they go through that guy who shot those people and screamed Free Palestine, that they go through his shit and find out that he has been watching hours upon hours. His feed is just full of Hassan Denham's Frogan. It's just like he was radicalized by them. What would the cope be then?
Fucking fascist. In which case, yeah, okay. That's fine.
God damn, the dead air, man. You gonna say something?
Asma recently attacked the trans streamer over a 7-second clip, causing other people to pile on. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fairly large content creator, so it doesn't really bother me as much.
Oh, it clearly
Fascists
does.
love you get the fuck out of here. Point to one singular fascist who has ever said anything positive about me. Are you out of your fucking mind? Dude.
Oh my god.
You know what pain is
Private
caused,
Twitch space. What are the comments like on that one? Jesus Christ. Hey, Elon Musk, do you want to do something even funnier than buying Twitter? Oh my god, how crazy would it be if Elon Musk bought Twitch? Holy fuck, that's a good idea. How fucking hilarious would it be if the richest man in the world just said fuck it and bought Twitch? If one man on planet Earth could afford it, it's that one. We've seen what he's done to Twitter. Just imagine if he follows the same playbook and buys Twitch. He buys Twitch and then immediately unbans all of the right-wing people. Destiny comes back to the platform. Kanye West comes back to the platform. I'm sorry, Ye. Didn't he walk off of an interview with Piers Morgan because he didn't call him Ye, he called him Kanye? Fucking child. Maybe he'll even go extreme and bring back Nick Fuentes. I doubt it. He didn't even bring him back to Twitter, but brings back Fresh and Fit, Sneeko. Brings all those people back. Oh my god, what would happen to Hassan if Elon Musk bought Twitch? That's crazy.